Leave the dungeon square and send Zhou Mi and Guo Hai away. Jinda took Lin Fei on his suspended off-road vehicle and sped towards Lin Fei's home. In the car, Jinda took the initiative to mention Level 10's new secret realm. For the next day, you should have a good rest at home. It may take some time to start conquering the new secret realm of Level 10, Jinda told Lin Fei. Lin Fei asked curiously. Why? Jinda thought for a while and explained to Lin Fei. The main reason is because the City Lord's daughter's novice copy trial has not ended yet. To guide the new secret realm of Level 10, we must wait until she completes the novice copy trial. I was chatting with Mr. Zhou before, and what he meant was that Chen Zihan had probably just cleared the ordinary level secret realm at this moment. After she cleared the difficult level secret realm, the novice dungeon trial would be over. It is expected that there will be at least a dozen hour. Of course, not only Chen Zihan, but also everyone else in the secret realm dungeon has not finished the novice dungeon trial. It's not that they are slow, it's that you cleared the level too fast. You've even cleared the hard level dungeon, and they probably haven't cleared the ordinary level dungeon yet. At the end of the sentence, Principal Jin was quite proud. Lin Fei really made him proud this time. Lin Fei nodded. He had heard before that the City Lord's daughter took the college entrance examination in the same class as himself. However, he still asked with some confusion. Chen Zihan also wants to clear the difficult level secret realm. What profession did she awaken? Furthermore, I remember that Chen Zihan was a student of No. 1 middle school, but I didn't hear that she was in the copy square. Jinda was very satisfied with Lin Fei's thoughtfulness, so he patiently explained. Chen Zihan is different from others. She is the daughter of the City Lord. She can pass difficult level dungeons through some cheating methods. I heard that the City Lord made special arrangements for her. We hired 5 level 15 guards to help her pass the leveling process. Is this all okay? Lin Fei suddenly figured out that Chen Zihan's way to pass the leveling was to let the guards beat the monster half to death, and then let Chen Zihan make a last hit. But isn't this too cheating? Others can't, but Chen Zihan can. Principal Jin said with envy. Who can let me have a City Lord father? Furthermore, in order to keep it secret and to allow Chen Zihan to better participate in the novice dungeon trial, the City Lord specially ordered that more than a dozen of our high schools free up a novice dungeon for Chen Zihan and use it alone. This is what you haven't seen in the dungeon square. The reason why Chen Zihan came here. After hearing this, Lin Fei was amazed and couldn't help but sigh. It's great to have a City Lord father. Who says it's not? Principal Jin nodded in agreement. Don't worry about anything. The City Lord will arrange the best resources. Even if Chen Zihan only awakens to an ordinary main battle profession, there is still a lot of hope to be admitted to the Dragon Class, National Vocational University. However, you don't have to be envious. Principal Jin changed the topic, straightened his back, and said quite proudly. Even if Chen Zihan has such good resources, isn't she still better than you? She is still clearing difficult level dungeons. Well, you have already cleared the level. Moreover, even if she clears the difficult level dungeon and is promoted to level 10, her strength will definitely be far inferior to yours. Lin Fei smiled but didn't explain much. I thought to myself that it was because I had awakened the most powerful professional system and obtained unlimited synthetic talents, that's why I was so powerful. In fact, in terms of resources, I have more resources than Chen Zihan. An infinite synthetic talent can crush all the resources she has obtained. Of course, this kind of thing is definitely not allowed to be said. So, he changed the topic and said, by the way, Principal, there is one more thing I don't understand. Why did Mr. Zhou take the initiative to give me a spot to conquer the new secret realm of level 10? He and Zhou Mi were not close friends, and Zhou Mi was a teacher at Jiangnan Vocational University and not from Riverside City, so there was no reason to be so nice to him. Even if he did well in the novice dungeon trial, Lin Fei didn't think this was the reason for Zhou Mi to give him a spot. It's very good that you can ask this question. Principal Jin looked at Lin Fei with great admiration and explained. Mr. Zhou gave you a quota to conquer the new secret realm of level 10. Of course it is for a purpose. What purpose? Lin Fei became serious. Let's start from the beginning. Principal Jin said leisurely. This new secret realm of level 10 was controlled by the City Lord not long after it was discovered. Nominally, it is reserved for Riverside City's outstanding new job transfers this year, but anyone with a discerning eye can see that this is prepared by the city lord for his own daughter. However, after all, it is nominally reserved for Riverside City's outstanding new job transfers this year, so in order to stop everyone from talking about it, the city owner will definitely not let Chen Zihan eat alone this time. He needs to find a few people to work with her to conquer the game. Your grades are good enough, so you are certainly eligible for a spot. But that's not the main reason. Principal Jin expressed his guess. Zhou Mi is the teacher specially invited by the city lord for Chen Zihan. The main reason why he gave you a place is to show your goodwill and plan to invite you later. Team up with Chen Zihan for the college entrance examination. Team up with Chen Zihan for the college entrance examination? Lin Fei had never thought about this. That's right. Jinda nodded and continued. You performed so well in the novice dungeon trial and you can pass the difficult dungeon. It is almost a certainty that you will be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. If I can team up with you for the college entrance examination, my grades will definitely improve a lot. That's what they had in mind. So that's it. Lin Fei finally understood and felt relieved. Seeing that Lin Fei didn't take it seriously, Jinda reminded him, don't underestimate the opportunity to team up with you for the college entrance examination. Do you know how rare this opportunity is to team up with someone who will definitely be admitted to Longguo Vocational University? The 4 people who teamed up with your sister Lin Shui last year were all ordinary main combat professions, and one even had an auxiliary profession. Although their college entrance examination results were not as dazzling as Lin Shui's, they were all admitted to the Dragon Kingdom top 10 prestigious schools. So, for you and the team, these people are going to be very motivated. Let's see, the results of your novice dungeon trial will soon spread in Riverside City. There will definitely be many people who want to team up with you for the college entrance examination. By then, your family's threshold will be broken, and maybe there will be more people from other cities came after hearing the news. At the end of the sentence, Jinda couldn't help but laugh proudly for Lin Fei. Lin Fei also understood the seriousness of the matter and couldn't help asking the principal for advice. Then how should I deal with it? Principal, how should I deal with it? Lin Fei had no experience in this area, so he humbly asked the principal for advice. Principal Jin looked relaxed and said calmly, this matter is not as complicated as you think, just feel free to do it. Just feel free to do it? Lin Fei was a little confused. That's right. Principal Jin nodded and explained. The initiative to form a team for the college entrance examination is entirely in your own hands, and no one can force you. So, it's up to you who you want to team up with. Even I can only give you some advice. Whether you listen to it or not is entirely up to you. Of course, he personally hopes that Lin Fei can form a team with the students from number 2 middle school. This can improve the grades of high school sophomores. However, the specific method of forming a team still depends on Lin Fei's own wishes. After listening carefully to Principal Jin's words, Lin Fei felt relieved and continued to ask, then do you think I should agree to team up with Chen Zihan? As I said before, it depends on your own wishes. Principal Jin said calmly. Even if you refuse, the city lord can't do anything to you, so follow your own wishes boldly and don't force yourself. Of course, if you are willing to team up with Chen Zihan, then everyone will be happy. At this point, Principal Jin paused, with a sly smile on his face. It's not a problem to agree to team up with Chen Zihan, but you can with the conditions. Of course I have to kill them for such a good opportunity. Since the city lord can use so many resources to help Chen Zihan improve, he is naturally willing to pay the price for you to agree to team up with Chen Zihan for the college entrance examination. I believe that as long as your conditions are not too excessive, they will definitely agree. After hearing this, Lin Fei thought about it carefully. It actually makes no difference to me who I team up with for the college entrance examination. What's more, under the city lord's training at all costs, Chen Zihan will definitely not be too weak, and he is also a good team candidate. Selling the city lord to save face, teaming up with Chen Zihan, and forming a good relationship. In the future, when I am no longer in Riverside City, my parents will also be taken care of. Think about it this way. Agreeing to team up with Chen Zihan will only benefit you and not bring you any harm. So why not? Therefore, Lin Fei decided that he might as well agree to team up with Chen Zihan for the college entrance examination. So he turned to the principal and said, "I don't object to teaming up with Chen Zihan, and I can accept this invitation." "That's great." Principal Jin smiled and gave Lin Fei a hint. "When Zhou Mi invites you, I'll put in more conditions. Anyway, the city lord's family has a big business and they don't lack those things." "I don't know what conditions should be more appropriate," Lin Fei asked humbly. "That's too much," Principal Jin said directly without thinking. "It mainly depends on what you need. For example, if you need a mana recovery potion, then ask them to bring out a dozen or 20 bottles of high-level mana recovery potion. If you need weapons or equipment, they should be willing to accept it if they are below level 20. For another example, you can ask for a few quotas for the new secret realm of level 10. Liang Jia and Shu Wei are not bad at strength, and they have a good relationship with you. You can help them and be a favor. In addition, you can also take over the leadership of the college entrance examination team and give Chen Zihan a place. You can decide the remaining 3 by yourself. I believe they will not object." Besides, Principal Jin talked so much that Lin Fei felt it was a bit excessive. Many conditions cannot be measured by money. If the city lord agrees to them all, it will probably be very painful. Principal Jin looked unconcerned, and finally concluded, "In short, they are begging you, not you begging them. So you can set any conditions you want. As long as they are not too excessive, the city lord will agree." Even what?" Lin Fei asked curiously. "Even if you want to be the city lord's son-in-law, it's not impossible to discuss. You are the first person in the history of our riverside city to clear the difficult level dungeon. You are the only hidden professional with a bright future. Even in the entire Dragon Kingdom, you can't find such a good son-in-law even if you hold a lantern," Principal Jin said nonchalantly. Lin Fei laughed dumbly. He had no such idea. However, after listening to the principal's words, he felt confident and quickly changed the subject. "Are there any other details about the new secret realm of level 10? No one has ever conquered this secret realm, so even the city lord doesn't know what's going on inside," Principal Jin replied. "What we know now are the common features of some secret realms. For example, this secret realm restricts entry to job transferees from level 6 to level 15. For example, secret realm is different from the novice copy. There is no protection mechanism, and it will not be teleported out immediately when in danger. If you want to come out, you either have to clear the level or stay for enough time to be excluded from the secret realm. In this regard, I ask you to be careful and not to be reckless, otherwise you may encounter danger and die inside. Also, although it is a level 10 secret realm, according to past experience, there will be monsters above level 10 in it, so you should pay special attention to this." Lin Fei nodded and kept thinking in his mind. Are there monsters above level 10? The strength of the undead ghost is now comparable to level 11 monsters. If you use enhanced skills, level 13 monsters can also fight. So don't worry too much. However, before conquering this level 10 secret realm, you still need to improve the strength of the undead ghost. After being promoted to level 10, my mana has been restored. I still have the 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion in my hand. It is enough to raise the strength of the undead ghost to another level. I thought so. The suspended off-road vehicle has arrived at the door of Lin Fei's house. It's early morning now. As soon as Lin Fei got out of the car with Principal Jin, he saw his mother opening the door and walking out. According to my mother's habit, this is the time for her to go out to buy groceries. "Son, why are you back?" Mom was stunned when she saw Lin Fei and Principal Jin. At this point, shouldn't my son be participating in the novice copy trial? Why did you come back suddenly? "Mom, my novice copy trial is over, so the principal sent me back," Lin Fei answered his mother's question. But after listening to Lin Fei's explanation, my mother became even more confused. Is the novice dungeon trial over? So soon? In her impression, the novice dungeon trial took a very long time. Professionals who are less powerful basically stick to the novice copy before the college entrance examination. For the more powerful ones, it will take 2 or 3 days to finish. Even Lin Shui took nearly 2 days to complete the novice copy trial. It's only been a day since my son left, right? Why did it end so quickly? Is it because of poor grades? Thinking of this, my mother's heart skipped a beat and she had a bad premonition. It was Principal Jin who saw his mother's expression was wrong and quickly said, "Don't worry, Lin Fei's results in the novice dungeon trial were very good, that's why he ended the novice dungeon trial so quickly." Very good. After listening to the principal's words, my mother felt relieved. He looked at his son expectantly and asked, "Son, how long did it take you to clear the simple level dungeon and ordinary level dungeon?" As for the difficult level dungeon, she didn't mention it directly. She also participated in the novice dungeon trial when she changed jobs. Naturally, you know the difficulty of the ordinary level dungeon and the hard level dungeon. Especially for the difficult level dungeon, no one has ever cleared it in the history of Riverside City. So in her heart, her son finished the novice dungeon trial so quickly and was thankful to be able to form a team to pass the ordinary level dungeon. She didn't dare to expect more. Lin Fei looked at his mother and said word by word, "It takes 6 hours to clear the simple level dungeon, and it takes 8 hours to clear the ordinary level dungeon." What? My mother was startled, wondering if her ears had heard it wrong, and said quickly, "Son, say it again." Lin Fei had no choice but to repeat, "It takes 6 hours to clear the simple level dungeon and 8 hours to clear the ordinary level dungeon." Huh? This? So fast? Is it true? Mom now knew that she heard correctly, but she couldn't believe that this result was true. It took my daughter Lin Shui 11 hours to clear the simple level dungeon. The ordinary level dungeon failed the first time and was successfully cleared only after forming a team for the second time. It's really unbelievable that my son's grades are far higher than those of my daughter. He turned to look at Principal Jin with questioning eyes. Principal Jin nodded in agreement and reassured his mother, "What Lin Fei said is true." My mother finally believed it and was so shocked by this result that she was speechless. He then heard the principal continue, "Furthermore, Lin Fei also cleared the difficult level dungeon in just 10 hours. This. Before my mother could recover from her surprise, she heard Principal Jin drop even more explosive news. A difficult copy? Doesn't it mean that no one has ever cleared the level in Riverside City's history? My son actually passed the level, and it was a single playthrough, which only took 10 hours. Is all this true? Am I dreaming? Mom couldn't digest the breaking news for a while, and stood there in shock with her mouth wide open. After a while, he regained his composure, looked at his son, and said excitedly with tears in his eyes, "Son, you are so great, so amazing. I can even clear the difficult level dungeon, and I will definitely have no problem getting admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Now I don't have any worries at all." Lin Fei just smiled, as if he had done an ordinary thing, and said lightly, "It's not bad, it's just good luck." "Stop being humble," Principal Jin said with dissatisfaction. "Excessive humility becomes pride. Awesomeness is awesome, and there is nothing that cannot be admitted. I can guarantee that there is no one more humble than you in the history of Riverside City. Awesome new career changer." Lin Fei smiled and said nothing. At this time, my mother quickly got out of the way and said to Lin Fei, "Son, go home and rest quickly." Then he looked at Jinda. "Principal, please come home and sit down. Xiaofei can't achieve such good results without your help." Principal Jin waved his hands with a smile and said, "I won't go in and sit down. I have other things on hand and I have to deal with them right away." As soon as she heard that the principal had something else to do, my mother stopped forcing him to stay. She stood at the gate with Lin Fei and watched the principal get into the car and leave. "Don't rush back to school. Let's go to the guild first." In the car, the principal said to the driver. He had previously promised to give Lin Fei some mana recovery potions, but now he was rushing to the guild to buy them. The principal left in a car. The mother was no longer in a hurry to buy groceries and quickly called her son home. She entered the house before Lin Fei, ran all the way to the living room, and before she entered, she shouted from outside the house, old Lin, come out quickly, my son is back." The father, who was sitting in the living room reading the newspaper, heard this and threw down the newspaper. He walked out of the living room and saw his mother at the door of the living room and his son in the courtyard. He looked strange. "Son, why are you back so soon?" My mother's face was red, she was dancing with excitement, and she couldn't wait to explain. "Old Lin, your son is amazing. He cleared all the difficult dungeons in just 10 hours. "What?" Dad almost dropped his glasses. Lin Fei walked closer, nodded and said, "Mom is right. I have cleared the simple level dungeon, the ordinary level dungeon, the difficult level dungeon, completed the novice dungeon trial, and now I have reached Golden Eyes level 10. Then show your property panel to your parents. This. Dad looked at the level 10 label and was so shocked that he couldn't speak. When my daughter finished the novice copy trial, she was only level 8. The son turned out to be even more powerful than the daughter and was promoted to level 10 in just one day. Not to mention clearing the difficult level dungeon in one go. This is something that countless career changers in the history of Riverside City have not been able to do. It is really amazing and incredible that my son can do it. The mother looked at the stunned look on the father's face and said with some disgust, "Look at your worthless look. My son is a genius among geniuses, the only hidden professional. What's the fuss about achieving such results?" He completely forgot that when he first learned the news, he was even more surprised than his father. Ignoring the stunned father, the mother turned to look at her son and asked, "Son, you must be tired and hungry after a busy day, right? What do you want to eat? Mom will buy it right away." "Anything is fine." Lin Fei smiled and said, "I like to eat all the dishes made by my mother." "You are the only one who talks sweetly." My mother walked out of the house with a smile on her face and brisk steps. In the courtyard, Dad finally recovered from his surprise. As soon as I entered the living room and sat down with my son, I couldn't wait to ask, "Son, how did you manage to clear the level so quickly? Tell me quickly." If it were my mother, she would definitely not ask this kind of question. She only needs to know the result. But Dad is different. He likes to understand the process and get to the bottom of things. Lin Fei had no choice but to tell him the whole process of clearing the level. I heard my father nodding his head with envy. When he was conquering the novice dungeon, he was not as cool as Lin Fei, and it brought tears of bitterness when he talked about it. Even now, he still regrets that he is just a useless professional in daily life, and he is not even qualified to take the college entrance examination. But now I see that my daughter and son have awakened to their hidden professions, and their grades are better than the last, which makes up for my regrets back then. Lin Fei guessed what his father was thinking, and thought that if there was a chance in the future, he would definitely help his father and mother change their careers, defying the heavens and changing fate. Then I heard my father ask with a serious face, "Son, what are you going to do in the next 6 days? Son, what are your plans for the next 6 days?" Dad looked at Lin Fei with concern. Daughter Lin Shui completed the novice copy trial and was promoted to level 8. But this was not enough to support her to upgrade to level 16 before taking the college entrance examination. She later got a great opportunity during the trial outside the city and was promoted to level 16. It's just that such a great opportunity is rare, and my son may not encounter it. Therefore, we must carefully plan the next 6 days to improve our strength as much as possible and be admitted to Longguo Vocational University in one fell swoop. Lin Fei had already made plans on the way home, and replied casually, "I plan to take a rest at home first, and then go to the Professionals Guild. There are still more than 100 items in the backpack space that have not been processed and need to be sold at the guild. At the same time, you can also buy some things you need, such as mana recovery potions, weapons and equipment, etc. When I come back from the guild, I will prepare to attack the secret realm." Lin Fei continued. A level 10 secret realm was newly discovered outside the city. It was controlled by people sent by the city lord's palace. It will be left to the outstanding new job transferees this year. Use. I got a quota, and I'll wait for others to complete the novice copy trial, and then we'll go and conquer it together. The principal estimates that these people will probably complete the novice copy trial tomorrow, and then set out to conquer the new secret realm of level 10 together. Level 10's new secret realm. Dad was a little confused at first, but his eyes lit up after he thought about it. He is just a low-level life professional and is not sensitive to these messages. But I also know that the rewards for clearing the new secret realm for the first time are extremely generous. Although this new level 10 secret realm is not as good as my daughter's big opportunity last year. But after conquering it, his son can at least be promoted to level 12, level 13, or even level 14 or level 15. There is absolutely no problem in getting admitted to Longguo Vocational University. So my father said with a serious face, "You must master this secret realm carefully and raise the level as much as possible. The higher the level, the greater your chances of getting admitted to Longguo Vocational University. He did not forget to warn, of course, the most important thing is to pay attention to safety. The secret realm outside the city is no better than the novice copy. There is no protection mechanism. People may die when encountering dangers that cannot be dealt with, so you must be careful and careful. Yes, I understand. Lin Fei nodded. He has already made up his mind to continue to improve the strength of the undead ghost. Before entering the new secret realm of level 10, you must at least increase the strength of the undead ghosts to be comparable to level 13 monsters, so that you can sit back and relax. As for your level, it's actually not that important. Because his main combat power is the ghosts of the dead. No matter what your level is, as long as the undead ghost's combat power is high enough, it can deal with all monsters. Like now. Although his level is only level 10, he can collide with level 13 monsters because of the ghosts of the dead. So, the most important thing before the college entrance examination is to continue to improve the combat power of the ghosts of the dead. As long as the combat power of the undead ghost is raised to be comparable to level 15, then being admitted to Longguo Vocational University is a sure thing. Of course. To be able to advance, he still had to advance as soon as possible. After all, the condition for unlocking rank 1 of the system was to advance to level 15. He was still looking forward to this. Think of this. Lin Fei got up from the sofa and said to his father, "I'm going to rest." "Well, go ahead and have a good rest." Dad agreed, then thought about it and said, "Your novice dungeon test results are so good, your mother will definitely cook a big meal to celebrate. It's estimated that just shopping for groceries will take an hour, plus the time for cooking. You can rest for a while and don't have to rush out to eat." "Yes, I understand, Dad." Lin Fei agreed and went straight to the practice room. Level 6 for career changers is a watershed. Job transferees below level 6 need to sleep during rest. However, career changers above level 6 can already get rid of sleep. Although you may get tired and need rest, meditating for an hour or two every day is enough to recover. Moreover, the higher the level, the more energetic the professional will be. Lin Fei is now a level 10 professional. Even if he doesn't rest for 3 days and 3 nights, it won't have any impact. Come to the practice room and close the door. Lin Feipan sat in the center of the practice room, closing his eyes and resting. After an hour, Lin Fei opened his eyes again, stood up and moved his body. He looked full of energy. After a few more activities, Lin Fei began to look inside the backpack space and count the items inside. The Horn of Destruction, the Ring of Defense, the Horn of the Storm Lion, the Medical Stone, the Ball of Darkness. The Heart of the Holy Tree. There are a total of 109 items in the backpack space, most of which are level 5 items, as well as some level 6 items and a level 7 Holy Tree Heart. These things together are worth at least tens of thousands of gold coins. I will go to the guild later and sell them all. Lin Fei was thinking in his mind. All the items that can be used have been equipped on himself and the undead ghosts. The rest of these are unused, so of course you have to sell them all and exchange them for gold coins to buy what you need. Taking out 30 items from the backpack space to free up some space, Lin Fei planned to continue synthesizing the undead ghosts to improve the strength of the undead ghosts. Black Iron Level Undead Ghost. Life. 400, Strength. 420 plus 40. Agility. 400 plus 20. Mana. 370. Equipment. Phantom Belt, Ring of Destruction. Skill. Strengthen. Enhancement. Consumes 80 mana points to double the attack power for 30 seconds. Cooling time 1 hour. Ring of Destruction. Level 4 item, increases strength by 40 points after wearing. Ghost Phantom Belt. Level 4 item, increases agility by 20 points after wearing it. The current strength of the undead ghost is comparable to level 11 monsters. After using enhanced skills, it can deal with level 13 monsters. I don't know how much this synthesis can improve the strength of the undead ghost. Think so. Lin Fei exhausted all his mana and used his skills to summon undead ghosts, summoning 26 undead ghosts in one breath. Divine level talent, unlimited synthesis. Putting the 27 undead ghosts into the backpack space, Lin Fei used the infinite synthesis talent to combine the 27 undead ghosts into one. Black iron level undead ghost. Life. 460, strength. 500 plus 40. Agility. 480 plus 20. Mana. 420. Equipment. Phantom belt, ring of destruction. Skill. Strengthen. Strengthen. Consume 100 mana points to double the attack power for 30 seconds. Cooling time 1 hour. Ring of destruction. Level 4 item, increases strength by 40 points after wearing. Ghost phantom belt. Level 4 item, increases agility by 20 points after wearing it. With 540 power points, the strength is comparable to level 12 monsters. After using enhanced skills, it can deal with level 14 monsters. Lin Fei looked at the attribute panel of the synthesized undead ghost and considered it secretly. But to be honest, he was not too satisfied with the result. 26 undead ghosts were synthesized at one time, but the strength of the undead ghosts was only increased by 1 level. Isn't this improvement too little? Alas, as the number of synthesis increases, the improvement in the strength of the undead ghost is getting smaller and smaller. If you can summon white-silver level undead ghosts, your strength should be greatly improved, Lin Fei thought in his mind. But just think about it. At his current level, he cannot summon white-silver level undead ghosts. If you want to summon the white-silver level undead ghost, you have to upgrade it to level 10. If the quality is not enough, then quantity can only be used. He took out 6 bottles of mana recovery potions that the dean had bought for him from his arms. Lin Fei estimated that using up these mana recovery potions would be enough to increase the strength of the undead ghost by another level. Only, I'm already level 10. And these mana recovery potions are only level 9, Lin Fei sighed. This does not mean that level 10 professionals cannot use level 9 mana recovery potions. However, if you use a mana recovery potion that is lower than your own level, the effect will be greatly reduced. Level 9 mana recovery potion can restore 150 mana points to level 9 professionals. But if a level 10 professional uses it, it can only restore 50 points of mana at most, and the effect is directly reduced by more than half. This is because the mana of level 10 professionals is higher in quality than the mana of level 9 professionals, so the effect of using a lower level of mana recovery potion will be greatly reduced. So, if you use these 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potions directly, you can only restore 300 mana points. It's enough to increase the strength of the undead ghost by another level. Lin Fei frowned as he looked at the 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion in front of him. After thinking for a while, he suddenly caught a glimpse of the motionless ghost of the undead in front of him. An idea flashed in his mind, and he patted his forehead and said, "How could I forget this? I can completely synthesize the level 9 mana recovery potion into a level 10 mana recovery potion and then use it. Just do it." Lin Fei quickly put 6 bottles of mana recovery potions into his backpack. Then use infinite synthesis talent to synthesize. In the backpack space, 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potions were combined into one by the infinite synthesis of talent, turning into 3 bottles of level 10 mana recovery potions. Mana recovery potion. Level 10. Function. 180 points of mana can be restored after use. After synthesizing level 10 mana recovery potion, 3 bottles can restore 540 mana points, which is nearly twice as effective as using 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion directly. Moreover, 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potions are worth 12,000 gold coins, while 3 bottles of level 10 mana recovery potions are worth 20,000 gold coins. Based on this calculation, using 2 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion to synthesize a level 10 mana recovery potion seems to be more cost-effective than purchasing a level 10 mana recovery potion directly. But now is not the time to worry about this. Seeing the level 10 mana recovery potion being synthesized, Lin Fei took out a bottle from the backpack space and used it directly, instantly restoring 180 mana points. Summon the ghosts of the dead. Without hesitation, 180 points of mana were consumed, and Lin Fei had 18 more black iron level undead ghosts in front of him. Then put the 19 undead ghosts into the backpack space and use unlimited synthesis talent to synthesize them into a new undead ghost. Lin Fei repeated the above steps twice more and used up the remaining 2 bottles of mana recovery potion. The properties of the synthesized undead ghost have been improved too. Black Iron level Undead Ghost. Life. 610. Strength. 650 plus 40. Agility. 630 plus 20. Mana. 600. Equipment. Ghost Phantom Belt, Ring of Destruction. Skill. Enhancement. Enhancement. Consume 150 mana points, double the attack power, last for 30 seconds. Cooldown time 1 hour. Ring of Destruction. Level 4 item, increase 40 strength after wearing. Ghost Phantom Belt. Level 4 item, increase 20 agility after wearing. Now the strength of the undead ghost is comparable to that of level 13 monsters. After using the enhanced skill, it can also fight against level 15 monsters. Now, you can rest assured when you go to the level 10 new secret realm. There will be no monsters above level 15 in the level 10 secret realm. And even if I take the college entrance examination now, this strength is enough for me to be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. Lin Fei nodded with satisfaction, and finally improved the strength of the undead ghost to what he expected. It's just that the mana recovery potion bought by the dean has been used up. I need to go to the guild to buy some more, but there is no rush. Because even if I buy it, he can't use it for the time being. Using 3 bottles of mana recovery potion in a short period of time is already the limit of the limit. You must wait for a while before you can use the mana recovery potion again. Everything is done. Lin Fei looked down at the time. It has been 2 hours since he entered the practice room. My mother should have come back a long time ago, and she might have prepared the meal by now. Put away the undead ghost and the items he took out before. Lin Fei pushed the door and walked out of the practice room and went straight to the living room. I saw that the dining table was already densely packed with various dishes. Garlic crispy chicken, snow bamboo shoots and river white fish, mountain mushroom stewed old duck, black bean sauce steamed abalone, pepper and salted pork trotters, silver thread garlic steamed shrimp. This full table will cost at least dozens of gold coins. My mother is really extravagant this time. Lin Fei smiled, but he didn't care much. I made tens of thousands of gold coins in a difficult secret realm, so spending a few dozen gold coins on a meal is nothing. At this time, my mother came out with a white shrimp in soup. Seeing her son coming, she hurriedly greeted him. "Son, the food will be ready soon, sit down and eat." "Yes." Lin Fei nodded and sat down at his seat. Then he watched his mother go into the kitchen again and bring out the last plate of squirrel mandarin fish, and the full table of dishes was ready. After my mother sat down, the family picked up chopsticks and started eating. I have to say that my mother really brought out all the skills of a level 5 chef this time. Every dish was delicious and Lin Fei enjoyed it very much. During the meal, my mother did not forget to ask Lin Fei, "I heard from your father that you were going to the guild later? Are you going to buy something?" "That's the purpose." Lin Fei took a bite of the braised pork elbow and replied, "There are still 10,000 gold coins at home, you can use them as you like." My mother took out a magnetic card and put it on the table and pushed it to Lin Fei. This was given to my mother by my sister before she left last year. Lin Fei shook his head and pushed the magnetic card back. "Mom, I'm not short of money. I went to the guild this time, buying things is secondary, the main thing is to sell some unused items. In the difficult level dungeon, I got a lot of items, all of which are worth at least tens of thousands of gold coins if sold." Tens of thousands of gold coins. Mom and Dad looked at each other and saw shock in each other's eyes. They had worked hard for most of their lives and only managed to save 100 gold coins. The 10,000 gold coins in this magnet card were left behind by my daughter before she left last year. I didn't expect my son to be so powerful. The items he harvested from doing difficult level dungeons were worth tens of thousands of gold coins. But after thinking about it, they felt it was very reasonable. I heard from my daughter that during her novice dungeon trial, the items she harvested in the ordinary level dungeon were worth 10,000 gold coins. The son is even better than the daughter. He has even cleared the difficult level dungeon, and it seems normal to sell the harvested items for tens of thousands of gold coins. After being surprised, my mother still pushed the magnet card in front of Lin Fei and insisted, "Son, take it, what if it's not enough?" Seeing his mother's insistence, Lin Fei smiled helplessly. After selling those things, the tens of thousands of gold coins he got were enough for himself. he would definitely not accept these 10,000 gold coins. He even planned to leave a sum of money for his parents to use like his sister after the college entrance examination and before enrolling in college. Without taking the magnet card that his mother pushed over, Lin Fei quickly stuffed a few mouthfuls of soy sauce beef into his mouth, then hurriedly got up and left the living room. As he walked, he said, "Mom, I'm going to the guild." This kid. Looking at Lin Fei's leaving figure, my mother shook her head helplessly and put away the magnet cards on the table again. Dad was sitting at the dining table, peeling shrimps and raising the corners of his mouth and said, "You should be happy that your son is so sensible." The two looked at each other with smiles on their faces. After walking out of the house, Lin Fei walked slowly towards the direction of the Professionals Guild. The guild building is in the center of Riverside City, and Lin Fei's villa is also on the edge of the center of Riverside City. The two are not too far apart. So it didn't take long for Lin Fei to arrive at the guild building. In front of the Professionals Guild building, there was a huge crowd, and all kinds of professionals came in and out through the revolving door. However, although there are many people of all kinds here, the order is very good, and everyone honestly does not dare to cause trouble. After all, opposite the guild building is the City Lord's mansion. Just the guards in front of the City Lord's palace can intimidate everyone, and no one dares to make trouble here. The guild building occupies a vast area and has 9 floors, each with its own function. Lin Fei followed the revolving door and entered the lobby on the first floor. I saw that it was extremely spacious inside, the decoration was very grand, and there were many people, either doing business or communicating in low voices. According to regulations, only professionals can enter the guild, so it was Lin Fei's first time entering the guild building. After curiously looking at the situation inside the guild, he saw a young attendant coming in front of him. "What does the guest need? You can tell me directly." The young attendant's tone was gentle and his service attitude was very good. Lin Fei did not hesitate and said straight to the point, "I harvested some items from the copy and need to sell them. I wonder what the grade and quantity of these items are." Hearing this, the young attendant looked Lin Fei up and down and asked with a smile. This man is not very old, probably a new professional who just changed jobs this year. At first he thought he was here to buy something. After all, after the job transfer ceremony, a large number of new professionals entered the guild to purchase equipment and prepare for the novice copy trial. Unexpectedly, this young man came to sell things. So I couldn't help but look at Lin Fei a few more times. This young man should be a new career changer. The items he sells are probably harvested from the novice copy. There should be only a few items and the level is not high. They can be traded in the trading hall. The young attendant thought with some disappointment. He doesn't get any commission from trading on the trading floor. Seeing Lin Fei's extraordinary bearing before, I thought he was a young man from an aristocratic family who had big customers coming to visit, so he came here. Unexpectedly, I actually made a mistake. Right. If he is really a young master from a noble family, there is no need to come here by himself. Just send a butler over. Hiding his inner disappointment, he heard Lin Fei reply, "The level of the items is between level 5 and level 7, and the number must be more than 100. What? The young attendant was stunned for a moment when he heard this. According to regulations, items below level 3 can be traded in the trading hall. Items above level 4 must be traded upstairs in a small room. The young man said he had more than 100 level 5 to level 7 items to sell. That's worth at least 50,000 to 60,000 gold coins. It's not a small deal. It's worth going to the small room upstairs to conduct the transaction alone." The young attendant looked at Lin Fei carefully and saw that he did not look like a liar, so he stepped aside and led Lin Fei the way. "Dear guest, please go to the 4th floor. I really didn't expect that I would stumble upon a big deal by accident." The young attendant was secretly pleased while leading Lin Fei the way. At the same time, I also had some doubts in my heart. Level 5 items can only be obtained by killing level 8 monsters, right? Level 7 items are meant to kill level 10 monsters. This customer is so young and can actually kill level 10 monsters? Could it be that I made a mistake? He is not a new job transfer this year, but a job transfer from last year? With questions, the young attendant took Lin Fei to the 4th floor and introduced him to a small room. After entering the room, he first saluted the old man in the room and then said, Great Master Zhang, this distinguished guest has more than 100 items from level 5 to level 7 to sell to our guild. Yes, I understand. The old man surnamed Zhang nodded to express his understanding. The young attendant then left and closed the door to the room. Seeing the door to the room being closed, Great Master Zhang looked at Lin Fei again, stretched out his hand and made a gesture of invitation. Guest, please have a seat. Lin Fei nodded, sat down on the chair opposite the Great Master, and listened to him say, please take out the things one by one. The old man will appraise them and give the corresponding price. Lin Fei nodded, not worried that the old man would deliberately lower the price. The Professionals Guild has always been fair and has much more credibility than those small shops, otherwise he wouldn't come here to do business. Then he took out the items from the backpack space one by one and handed them to Great Master Zhang. The Horn of Destruction, a level 5 item, increases agility by 30 points and health by 10 points, worth 500 gold coins. Defense Ring, level 5 item, increases life by 40 points and reduces damage by 5%, worth 550 gold coins. Storm Lion's Horn, a level 6 item, can reduce the damage of yourself and your teammates by 75% within 5 minutes after use, and is worth 100 gold coins. The old man surnamed Zhang is worthy of being the appraiser of the Professionals Guild. Every time Lin Fei takes out an item, he can accurately tell the item's grade and function, and give an accurate value. Taking out 108 items in a row, the total price of the items given by Great Master Zhang has exceeded 60,000 gold coins. Lin Fei took out the heart of the holy tree from the backpack space and reminded, Great Master, this is the last one. Great Master Zhang did not respond to him, but stared directly at the heart of the sacred tree in Lin Fei's right hand. He couldn't wait to take the heart of the sacred tree, put it in his hand and looked at it carefully, as if he was appreciating a unique treasure. After a long time, Great Master Zhang slowly said, Heart of the Sacred Tree, level 7 item. After use, it can permanently increase 100 health points, and there is a 20% chance of awakening the skill Holy Tree Cage. It is restricted to wood professionals. Good stuff. Rare to see. The Great Master Zhang made no secret of his love for the heart of the sacred tree. Its level is nothing, just level 7. As the appraiser of the Professionals Guild, Great Master Zhang has seen a lot of level 10 and level 20 items, not to mention level 7 items. But there is a difference. The heart of the sacred tree is very rare. You can only get it by clearing the difficult level dungeon in the novice dungeon trial. In the history of Riverside City, no one has ever cleared a difficult copy. Therefore, the Great Master has only heard of the heart bell of the sacred tree, but has never seen it. It's understandable that I'm so excited to see him today. Finally taking his eyes away from the heart of the sacred tree, Great Master Zhang looked up at Lin Fei and asked curiously, As far as I know, the heart of the sacred tree can only be obtained by clearing the difficult level dungeon in the novice dungeon trial. Get. I wonder, guest, where did you get the heart of the sacred tree? Lin Fei felt a little funny after hearing this. You've already said that you can only get it by clearing difficult level dungeons, but you're asking me where I got it from. However, out of politeness, he still replied, I got it by clearing the difficult level dungeon. Great Master Zhang perked up after hearing this. His eyes changed when he looked at Lin Fei, and he asked tentatively, Is the guest Lin Fei the only hidden professional in number 2 middle school? A few hours ago, he learned that Lin Fei, the only hidden professional in number 2 middle school this year, had cleared the difficult level dungeon. The young man in front of him was of the right age, and he had taken out the heart of the sacred tree. He was probably Lin Fei. Lin Fei was not surprised that the old man knew about him. The principal had reminded him before that if he cleared the difficult level dungeon, he would cause a sensation in Riverside City and become a celebrity, so he just nodded indifferently. Seeing Lin Fei admit it, Great Master Zhang's originally stern face suddenly burst into a smile, and he said with admiration, He is really a talented person. I have lived in Riverside City for decades, and this is the first time I have heard of someone being able to clear the difficult level dungeon. With such a talent, this kid will definitely have a bright future. Now I am looking forward more and more to my little friend who will shine in the college entrance examination and leave a big mark in the history of our Riverside City. Lin Fei just smiled and didn't take the old man's praise to heart. Then he pointed to the heart of the holy tree in his hand and asked, "I wonder how much this heart of the holy tree costs." The old man surnamed Zhang pondered for a while and gave a price, 20,000 gold coins. He also explained, "Level 7 items generally cost several thousand gold coins, but considering the rarity of the heart of the holy tree, our guild is willing to offer 20,000 gold coins. A level 7 item can be sold for 20,000 gold coins, which is an unexpected surprise. After all, the other 108 items only add up to 60,000 gold coins." Lin Fei agreed without thinking and sold the heart of the holy tree to the guild. Calculated in this way, the 109 items of mine were sold for a total of more than 80,000 gold coins, which was far beyond expectations. The old man surnamed Zhang was very happy to see Lin Fei agree, and quickly put away the heart of the sacred tree, for fear that Lin Fei would regret it. "Please give me your gold card, little friend, and transfer my gold coins to your gold card." Great Master Zhang stretched out his hand to Lin Fei and said. Lin Fei took out a magnet card from his body and handed it to Great Master Zhang. Naturally, this magnet card was not the one given by his mother, but given to him by his sister before he registered at Longguo Vocational University. There was still 100 gold coins in it, but he had never used it. The old man surnamed Zhang took the magnet card from Lin Fei and scratched 83,500 gold coins into it. This was the total price of these items sold by Lin Fei. Lin Fei took back the card with great satisfaction and was about to say goodbye and leave. Then I heard the Great Master Zhang in front of me ask, "My little friend has got so many gold coins. I must buy some weapons and equipment that I need next, right?" Lin Fei nodded. "You need to buy some mana recovery potions. By the way, let's see if there is any equipment suitable for you and the ghosts of the undead." Then I heard the Great Master Zhang continue to say, "If you don't mind, I can lead the way for you to trade alone in the small room on the 3rd floor. Separate transactions with high confidentiality and security." Lin Fei originally wanted to go downstairs and ask the attendant to take him there. Now Great Master Zhang took the initiative to mention that he just saved this step. So he nodded in agreement and said politely, "I'm sorry to trouble you, Great Master." "No trouble, not trouble at all." Great Master Zhang said with a smile, "It is an honor for me to serve a genius who has passed the difficult level dungeon. What's more, the little friend holds 80,000 gold coins, so he is qualified to trade alone." Then, Great Master Zhang stood up and left the room, took Lin Fei to the 3rd floor, opened the door and entered a small room. As soon as he entered the door, Great Master Zhang shouted into the room, "Old Chento, don't you want to know if the guy who passed the difficult level dungeon has 3 heads and 6 arms? Now I have brought him to you, see for yourself." The old man in the room had gray hair, but he still looked energetic. He replied without raising his head, "Stop messing around with me, didn't you see I have a guest here?" In addition to the energetic old man in the room, there was also a well-built middle-aged man sitting opposite him, and a young attendant standing beside him. Coincidentally, this young attendant was the one who entertained Lin Fei before. Great Master Zhang saw old Shadu's face full of disbelief, and immediately became anxious. He took out the heart of the holy tree from the backpack space and showed it to everyone. "Look at this, the heart of the holy tree. You can only get it by killing the boss of the difficult level dungeon. In the entire Riverside City, no one can take it out except Xiaoyu Lin." After hearing this, Great Master Qian raised his head and recognized the heart of the sacred tree at a glance. Then he turned to look at Lin Fei next to Great Master Zhang, his eyes changed. "Now believe me," Great Master Zhang said proudly. "Little friend Lin just made a big deal with me, and now he wants to buy some weapons and equipment. I am doing this for the sake of our good relationship. I just brought him to your place, how do you think you should thank me?" Great Master Qian ignored the proud Great Master Zhang and kept his eyes on Lin Fei. To be able to make a deal with the genius who was the first person in the history of Riverside City to clear a difficult level dungeon is a rare opportunity that cannot be missed. Great Master Qian is of course willing to serve Lin Fei. It's just that Lao Zhang brought Xiaoyu Lin here at the wrong time. He already had a guest here. Great Master Qian glanced at the rich middle-aged man in front of him, looked at Great Master Zhang helplessly and said, "Old Zhang, take Xiaoyu Lin to the next door. I still have guests here." He couldn't violate the first come, first served rule, so he could only ask Lin Fei to go to someone else's place with regret. But before Great Master Zhang and Lin Fei could respond, the rich middle-aged man in front of him took the lead and said very politely, "No need to trouble Xiao Yulin to change rooms. It will be the same if I leave. I just came here anyway." "How can this be done?" Lin Fei stood up at this time, shook his head and rejected the middle-aged man's kindness, and said to Great Master Zhang, "Since he came here first, let's change rooms." Great Master Zhang was about to nod in agreement when he heard the rich middle-aged man say urgently, "No, no, Xiao Yulin will just stay and I'll go." Without waiting for Lin Fei to respond, he stood up from his seat and quickly walked to the door, signaling Lin Fei to invite him first. He was just trading for a different room, no big deal. And Lin Fei is a genius who can clear difficult level dungeons. He is destined to have a bright future. If he sells well, he might even be able to form a good relationship with him. Seeing the rich middle-aged man's insistence, Lin Fei couldn't refuse anymore and opened his mouth without speaking. Great Master Qian saw that he was determined to leave, so he had no choice but to nod his head and agree. "Then I'll trouble the guest to change the room." "No trouble, not trouble at all." The rich middle-aged man smiled broadly and waved his hands in a very polite manner. Great Master Qian turned to look at the young attendant on the side and said, "Take the guest to Lao Wang's place next door. By the way, tell Lao Wang that he will give this guest a 10% discount." "Yes." The young attendant bowed and agreed. The rich middle-aged man at the door couldn't help but look happy when he heard this. Not everyone can get the guild discount. At least only those with a certain status in Riverside City. "I have been doing business in the guild for so many years, but I have never enjoyed this kind of treatment. I didn't expect that I would take the initiative to give up my seat to Lin Fei and enjoy a discount from the guild. This was a real surprise." The wealthy middle-aged man secretly rejoiced, feeling that what he did this time was really wise. After the young attendant responded, he walked towards the door to take the wealthy middle-aged man to the next door. When passing by Lin Fei, I couldn't help but take a deep look at Lin Fei. He had seen before that Lin Fei could harvest so many high-level items, so he must be very powerful. He guessed that he was a job changer last year. Unexpectedly, Lin Fei was the new job transferee this year. And he is also the genius who cleared the difficult level dungeon. If he had known earlier, he should have stayed with Great Master Zhang and served Lin Fei throughout the whole process. Now he regretted it to death. Good thing. Lin Fei will still stay with Great Master Qian to do business. I will take this guest next door later, and I will come over again. I must serve Lin Fei throughout the process. Being able to provide services to geniuses who have cleared difficult level dungeons will give me the ability to brag with those people in the future. With this thought in mind, the young attendant led the wealthy middle-aged man out of the room. The door to the room was also closed. "Little friend Lin, please sit down." Great Master Qian stood up and extended his hand to ask Lin Fei to sit on the chair opposite. His attitude was very polite. "Little friend Lin can get a 20% discount on the price of items purchased in the guild. This is the biggest discount within the scope of the old man's authority." "Thank you, Great Master Qian. You are so polite." Lin Fei thanked him very politely and sat down with Great Master Qian. The Great Master Zhang on the side heard what Lao Qian said and felt that Lao Qian was quite impressive. The 20% discount is not low, and the city lord comes in person to get this discount. Then he picked up a chair and sat down between the two of them. Great Master Qian pointed to the crystal panel on the table and said to Lin Fei, "This shows a list of all the items sold by the guild. The quantity, price, and function of the items are very clear. You can check it yourself if you need anything. This spar panel is modeled after the touch monitor of the technological era, and its functions are basically the same, but the materials are different." Lin Fei nodded and looked at the crystal panel in front of him. "I saw weapons, helmets, armor, belts, boots, accessories, potions, etc. marked on it. There were many types and they were very clear." Lin Fei wanted to buy a mana recovery potion, so he clicked on the potion option. After a wave of light flashed on the screen, the labels on it changed into the names of various potions. For example, health potions, mana recovery potions, heat-resistant potions, cold-resistant potions, profit potions, tenacity potions, agility potions, etc. There are hundreds of potions with different effects. Then click on the mana recovery potion column. The price, function, and inventory quantity of each level of mana recovery potion are displayed on the screen. Level 1 to level 5 are low-level potions, and the prices are generally not high, around a few dozen gold coins, and the more expensive ones only cost 1 or 200 gold coins. This is partly because the people who buy low-level potions are life professionals. Their level is not high, their combat power is not strong, they are generally poor, and they cannot afford it if the price is too high. On the other hand, it is also because low-level potions are easy to obtain and are available in huge quantities. You can tell this by looking at the guild's inventory. Each level of mana recovery potion has thousands of bottles in stock. At level 6, mana recovery potions become more expensive. It starts with 500 gold coins, but can also cost thousands or tens of thousands of gold coins. I am afraid that only auxiliary professions and main combat professions can afford it. And the higher the level, the harder it is to obtain. The guild's inventory only has a few dozen bottles at each level. Even for potions above level 10, there are only a few bottles in stock at each level. Lin Fei just glanced at the potions below level 8, and his eyes stayed on the level 9 mana potions. I saw it clearly written on it. Level 9 mana recovery potion, which restores 150 mana points after use and costs 2,500 gold coins. One bottle costs 2,500 gold coins, which is not cheap. Lin Fei lowered his eyebrows and suddenly remembered that the dean had sold his harvest from the ordinary level copy for a total of 12,000 gold coins. Based on the price of a bottle of 2,500 gold coins, even 12,000 gold coins cannot buy 5 bottles. But the teaching director gave him 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion. How is this going? Lin Fei frowned, calculated secretly, and then figured it out. The guild should have given the teaching director a 20% discount, so 12,000 gold coins can buy 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion. The facts were pretty much what he guessed. The guild did offer a 20% discount, but it was not because of the dean's reputation, but because the guild gave the benefits to the new transferees from number 2 middle school. There are still 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion left. But I'm already at level 10 now, so I can't use the level 9 mana recovery potion. Lin Fei no longer paid attention to the level 9 mana recovery potion, and moved his eyes downward to look at the level 10 mana recovery potion. Huh? Lin Fei suddenly let out a sigh. Level 10 mana recovery potion, the price and function are fine, but why is the quantity 0? He continued to scroll down and found that not only the level 10 mana recovery potion, but also the level 11, level 12, and level 13 mana recovery potions all had 0. It was not until the level 14 mana recovery potion that the number became 5. What's happening here? The guild is out of 1 bottle of mana recovery potions from level 10 to level 13. Is it such a coincidence? Lin Fei was confused, his face full of surprise. Great Master Qian and Great Master Zhang noticed that Lin Fei had something wrong with his expression. The former asked with concern, "Is there anything wrong with Lin Fei?" Great Master Qian, why are there no bottles of mana recovery potions from level 10 to level 13? Lin Fei raised his head and expressed his doubts with a puzzled expression. The Great Master Zhang next to him raised his eyebrows when he heard this, leaned over, took a closer look at the crystal panel, and said in surprise, "There is really no bottle left, old money, what's going on?" I remember that although there are not many high-level mana recovery potions in stock, there are 20 or 30 bottles in total. How come there is not 1 bottle left? Great Master Qian smiled apologetically and explained to Lin Fei, "What a coincidence, all the mana recovery potions from level 10 to level 13 were bought by others." Everyone was bought. Great Master Zhang reacted even more loudly than Lin Fei. He opened his mouth and asked, "When did it happen? Why didn't I know? Who bought it all?" Great Master Qian looked at Lao Zong's disbelief and smiled bitterly. "Just 2 hours ago, the steward of the city lord's mansion came to the guild and bought all the mana recovery potions from level 10 to level 13. Steward of the city lord's mansion? Great Master Zhang frowned and asked in confusion, "Why did he buy so many mana recovery potions? What else can you do?" Great Master Qian sneered, spread his hands and said, This is for the city lord's daughter. Regarding this answer, Great Master Zhang had nothing to say. He frowned and sighed. 20 or 30 bottles of 10 to level 13 mana recovery potions would cost at least hundreds of thousands of gold coins to buy them, right? In order for my daughter to get good grades in the college entrance examination, the city lord is really willing to spend a lot of money. Great Master Qian also nodded in agreement and gave an accurate figure. A total of 360,000 gold coins, which is the price after a 20% discount. When Great Master Zhang heard this, he couldn't help but sigh. It's really rich and powerful. Haha, he is rich and powerful. Great Master Qian smiled and changed the topic. However, compared to the Lu family, it is still much inferior. That's true. Great Master Zhang nodded, and continued. I heard that as soon as the job transfer results came out, the Lu family purchased resources and equipment worth millions of gold coins directly from the guild. But it's not over yet. They have ordered a large number of higher-level resources and equipment from the president. It is said that they are worth nearly 10 million, and they require delivery before the college entrance examination. In order to cultivate a hidden professional, the Lu family should have emptied their entire family fortune. In the entire Riverside City, perhaps only the city owner's investment in resources for his daughter can compare with the Lu family. The conversation between the two went astray, but Lin Fei did not warn him, but listened with interest. The Lu family spent huge sums of money to buy resources and equipment, probably to enhance the combat power of Lu Zi's summons. The lord professions are all good, but they cost too much money. If there are not enough resources to increase the combat power of the summoned objects, the combat power of lord professions may not be as good as that of auxiliary professions if the level is high. Therefore, lord-type professionals have no choice but to spend a lot of resources and equipment to increase the combat power of their summons. Think of this. Lin Fei couldn't help but feel lucky that he had unlimited synthetic talents. By synthesizing undead ghosts, he could increase his combat power. Otherwise, where would I have so many gold coins to buy resources and equipment to increase the combat power of the undead ghosts? The 10,000 gold coins my sister left behind may not even make a splash. After Great Master Qian and Great Master Zhang finished sighing, Lin Fei asked Great Master Qian, when can the guild sell the level 10 mana recovery potion again? It will take at least 2 or 3 days. Great Master Qian said apologetically. We have already reported to the headquarters to apply for replenishment, but this will take time. Okay. Lin Fei nodded helplessly and could only accept the result. If Lin is in a hurry, you can first buy a few bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion for emergency use. Great Master Qian suggested. Although the level is 1 level lower, the effect will be much worse, but it is better than nothing. Lin Fei nodded. That was exactly what he meant. I have unlimited synthetic talent, and I can completely synthesize 2 bottles of level 9 mana restoration potion into a bottle of level 10 potency restoration potion. And look at the price. 2 level 9 mana restoration potions are worth 5,000 gold coins in total, while a level 10 mana restoration potion is worth 6,500 gold coins. In other words, I used 2 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion to synthesize a level 10 mana recovery potion, and actually saved 1,500 gold coins. Interesting. Lin Fei rubbed his chin, thought for a moment, then looked at Great Master Zhang and asked, Great Master Zhang, if I sell the level 10 mana recovery potion to the guild, how much will the guild bid? Great Master Zhang didn't understand why Lin Fei asked this question. Didn't he want to buy the mana recovery potion? Why did he want to sell it again? But he still replied, 6,000 gold coins. It is 500 gold coins less than the price the guild sold it for. But that's normal, after all, the guild also has to make money through price differences. Lin Fei thought about it carefully and then smiled. I saw an opportunity to make a lot of money. If you buy 2 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potions for 5,000 gold coins. By synthesizing unlimited talents, you can synthesize it into a bottle of level 10 mana recovery potion, sell it to the guild for 6,000 gold coins, and you can earn 1,000 gold coins with your backhand. This is because the price difference between level 9 and level 10 potions is relatively small. It is clearly written on the crystal panel that the level 14 mana recovery potion is worth 150,000 gold coins, and the level 15 mana recovery potion is worth 350,000 gold coins. Follow the above steps and synthesize 2 bottles of level 14 mana recovery potions by yourself, and you can earn 40,000 to 50,000 gold coins with your backhand. And you only need to use the infinite synthesis talent, and you don't have to pay for anything else. This is simply a large sum of gold coins for free. It is quick and simple, and there is no limit to the amount. Spread your thoughts again. Potions can be synthesized, but weapons and equipment cannot be synthesized? If you sell the combined weapons and equipment to the guild, you should make more money. Lin Fei felt that he had opened the door to a new world, and he no longer had to worry about gold coins. I heard that there is an auxiliary profession called a synthesizer. It is similar to the infinite synthesis talent and can also synthesize equipment. However, unlimited synthesis talent can only synthesize the same items for the time being, but the synthesizer has a special synthesis route that can synthesize different items into a designated special item. If you have the opportunity, you can learn more about it, come up with a few synthesis routes, and try to see if unlimited synthesis can be done with talent. A thought flashed through Lin Fei's mind. But don't rush this matter, we'll talk about it later. The most important thing right now is to take the college entrance examination and be promoted to level 15, opening up the rank 1 segment of the system. Take back your attention. Lin Fei immediately said to Great Master Qian. I want these 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion. Okay. Great Master Qian nodded in agreement, raised his hand on his crystal panel, and locked the 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion for Lin Fei. This way other guests of the guild can no longer purchase it. After deciding on the mana recovery potion, Lin Fei slid his fingertips on the crystal panel, exited the potion page, and entered the weapons and equipment page. He now has a total of 83,500 gold coins, except for the 20% discount on the 12,000 gold coins for purchasing the mana recovery potion. There are still 70,000 gold coins at his disposal. Naturally, you want to see if there are any weapons and equipment suitable for you or the ghosts of the undead. The weapons and equipment page appears. There is a large list of various weapons and equipment arranged on it, ranked from low to high, followed by prices and descriptions. Level 1 to level 5 are low-level weapons and equipment, similar to potions. They're cheap and have a large inventory. But the effect is also average. Basically it can only increase dozens of attributes, which is basically useless to Lin Fei now. He can pass it with a few glances. Scroll down the page to reach high-level weapons and equipment above level 6. Lin Fei then looked at it in detail. Combat gloves, level 6, weight 2.1 kilograms, can increase strength by 100 points after equipped, suitable for professional fighters, price 8,000 gold coins. The sky-breaking great sword, level 7, weighs 4 kilograms. When equipped, it can increase strength by 150 points. There is a 10% chance of causing the enemy to enter a bleeding state for 10 seconds. The price is 23,000 gold coins. The Howl of the Sky, level 8, weighs 1.5 kilograms, can increase strength by 250 points after equipping it, and has a 5% chance of randomly firing cannons around it. The price is 70,000 gold coins. Look at it one by one. Especially when he saw the price marked at the end, Lin Fei thought it was really not cheap. Level 6 weapons cost at least several thousand gold coins, and a bottle of level 10 mana recovery potion only costs 6,500 gold coins. The price gap between weapons, equipment and medicines is big enough. But it's normal if you think about it carefully. After all, potions are only one-time consumables and are gone after use, so not many people buy them. Many people would rather spend a night to restore mana than spend hundreds or thousands of gold coins to buy mana restoration potions. The weapons and equipment are different. They can permanently improve attributes, and there is no restriction on the level of use. It is normal that the price is much higher than that of potions. Looking at the dense list of weapons, Lin Fei thought in his mind, I have a total of 70,000 gold coins at my disposal. Depending on the price, I can only buy 2 level 7 equipment or 1 level 8 equipment. This is enough to equip an undead ghost. Fortunately, I only need to equip 1 undead ghost. Otherwise, if there are a lot of undead ghosts, you really have to follow the method you just thought of and get a lot of gold coins to buy resources and equipment through unlimited synthesis of talents. Be patient and read through all the high-level weapons and equipment on the list. Lin Fei had already made a decision in his heart. He looked up at Great Master Qian and said word by word, "Great Master Qian, I want to buy a sky-breaking giant sword and a spirit-sealing cross. Sky-breaking great sword, level 7, weighs 4 kilograms. When equipped, it can increase strength by 150 points and has a 10% chance of causing the enemy to enter a bleeding state for 10 seconds. The price is 23,000 gold coins. Sealing cross, level 7, weight 3.1 kilograms, can increase strength by 180 points after equipped, and add 15% damage when attacking, price 40,000 gold coins. These are all purchased for the ghosts of the dead. The two effects can be superimposed, which can increase the power of the undead ghost by 330 points. Coupled with the undead ghost's original strength of 690 points, its combat power is already close to that of a level 15 monster. After hearing what Lin Fei said, Great Master Qian nodded calmly. First, he locked these two items for Lin Fei on his crystal panel, and then said, "The price of 6 bottles of mana recovery potion is 15,000 gold coins. Plus the two items, the total is 78,000 gold coins. Give Xiaoyu Lin a 20% discount, so the final total price is 62,400 gold coins." After hearing this, Lin Fei had no objection and happily took out his gold card and handed it to Great Master Qian. Money Great Master took the gold card and crossed out 62,400 gold coins, leaving only 21,100 gold coins in the balance. "It's really expensive." Lin Fei took the money and the gold card handed back by the Great Master and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. "I just bought 2 pieces of level 7 equipment for the undead ghost, which cost me 60,000 gold coins. If you want to buy more quantity or higher level equipment, how many gold coins will you need?" When looking at the list of high-level weapons, he also glanced at the level 9 and level 10 equipment. The prices all start at 100,000 gold coins, and there are quite a few prices ranging from 20,000 to 300,000 gold coins. If you don't have any financial resources, you really can't afford it. At this time, it seems that those new job transfers with good family backgrounds have an advantage. For example, Liang Jia and Xu Wei purchased equipment in advance to improve their strength before participating in the novice dungeon trial. Not to mention those like Chen Zihan and Lu Zi whose families cultivated them regardless of cost. I only bought equipment for one undead ghost, and I spent 70,000 gold coins casually. If there are 20 or 30 undead ghosts here, I'm afraid even 1 million gold coins won't be able to stop them. No wonder the Lu family spent tens of millions just buying equipment for Lu Zi. With such an expensive price, if you want to equip dozens of summons, tens of millions of gold coins is really not much at all. Lin Fei is once again grateful that he has unlimited synthetic talent. Not only can it improve the combat power of the undead ghosts, but it can also save a lot of gold coins. Not to mention that you can also earn gold coins by synthesizing unlimited talents. Just perfect. After Lin Fei paid the gold coins, Great Master Qian looked at the young attendant who came to wait on him not long ago, and ordered, "Go and get the items that little friend Lin bought." Yes. The young attendant agreed and left the room. After a while, he came back and took out the items Lin Fei bought from the backpack space and put them on the table. 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potion, level 7 weapon sky-breaking great sword, level 7 equipment spirit sealing cross. All the things Lin Fei bought are here, please check. Great Master Qian stretched out his hand and asked Lin Fei to check it. Lin Fei nodded, carefully checked that there were no problems, and then put these things into the backpack space. The transaction was completed at this point. "The transaction is completed, it's time for me to leave. Goodbye, two great masters." Lin Fei stood up and said goodbye to Great Master Qian and Great Master Zhang. "I'm going to send Lin Fei away from the guild." Great Master Qian stood up and wanted to send Lin Fei away. Lin Fei waved his hand and refused. "Great Master Qian, stay here, I can go by myself." But the two great masters insisted on sending it away, so Lin Fei had no choice but to nod in agreement. The two great masters took Lin Fei all the way to the entrance of the guild, and the young attendant followed silently with a smile on his face. "Little friend Lin, walk slowly and come back when you have time." Great Master Zhang said goodbye to Lin Fei enthusiastically. Great Master Qian next to him felt something strange when he heard this. Lin Fei asked the two of them to stay, then turned and walked into the revolving door and left the guild. There were many people in the hall on the first floor, and they were all surprised when they saw this scene. Isn't that the guild's money, Great Master, and Great Master Zhang? He actually sent the guests away in person. Who is that young man? It's so strange that he can actually get two Great Masters to send him off together. From what Great Master Zhang said, that young man seems to be named Lin, but there doesn't seem to be a big family named Lin in Riverside City, right? Everyone was talking to each other, speculating on Lin Fei's identity. After just discussing for a long time, there was no result. They didn't seem to know who this young man was. Several guild attendants in the hall also became curious. After seeing the two young attendants next to the Great Master, he approached them with curiosity and asked the young people who they were. But the young attendant was secretive and refused to say a word. After being fawned over by these people for a long time, he whispered the secret and said, "What is the name of that genius who cleared the difficult level dungeon?" Lin Fei. Everyone replied without thinking. Last name? The surname is Lin. Ah. Several attendants suddenly realized this and looked at the smiling young attendant with envy. Being able to serve a big shot has always been regarded as an honor by them, and Lin Fei is undoubtedly such a big shot. Everyone around them also heard their conversation, and the hall on the first floor caused a wave of excitement, with countless people exclaiming in amazement. No wonder two great masters from the guild were sent to each other. It turned out that he was Lin Fei who had cleared the difficult level dungeon. If I had known earlier, I should have gone up to get acquainted with him. Now that everyone is far away, I don't know if there will be a chance to meet again. Opposite the Professionals Guild is the City Lord's mansion. Chen Han, the Lord of Riverside City, started handling official business in the early morning and didn't finish until noon. Then I came to the living room and saw Zhou Mi, who had been waiting for a long time. Sorry for keeping Mr. Zhou waiting for so long. Chen Han walked into the living room and apologized with fists in his hands. Zhou Mi stood up to greet Chen Han and said very politely, "The city lord is busy with official duties every day. Please deal with official duties first. I am not in a hurry." Chen Han smiled, sat down on the main seat, and then asked Zhou Mi with a concerned look on his face, "Mr. Zhou, how is my little girl's situation in the novice dungeon trial?" Zhou Mi shook her fan to cover up her inner embarrassment and said, "The news from over there is that Miss Chen has entered the difficult level dungeon and is currently conquering it." Chen Han heard Zhou Mi's implication and asked with some surprise, "Didn't Mr. Zhou go over and take a look in person?" Haha. Zhou Mi smiled awkwardly and explained, "I've been staying in the dungeon square over there at number 1 middle school and number 2 middle school, and I haven't had time yet." He added, "It's just a novice copy trial. There are other people watching over Miss Chen. It doesn't make any difference whether I go or not." Chen Han didn't care about this. He thought about it and asked, "Mr. Zhou has been there for more than 10 hours, right? Did Lin Fei clear the ordinary level copy alone? He has been busy with more important official duties. The novice copy trial is just a trivial matter, so naturally he will not pay special attention to it." Zhou Mi shook his fan and said, "Not only that, he also cleared the difficult level dungeon by himself, and it only took 10 hours. What? Chen Han, who was about to drink tea, was shocked when he heard this. He quickly put down the teacup and asked, "You cleared the difficult level dungeon in one go? It only took 10 hours? That's right." Zhou Mi nodded seriously. Chen Han was silent for a moment in surprise. Lin Fei can clear the ordinary level dungeon by himself, so he has no doubts about it. After all, it only took Lin Fei 6 hours to clear the simple level dungeon. Lin Fei teamed up to clear the difficult level dungeon. He had also thought about it and thought it was very possible. But Lin Fei really didn't dare to think about clearing the difficult level dungeon alone. Not to mention it only took 10 hours, it's really an exaggeration. He has been the city lord of Riverside City for more than 10 years. Not to mention clearing the difficult level dungeon in one go. I have never seen it even clearing the ordinary level dungeon in one go. No one understands better than him what it means to clear a difficult dungeon in one go. Lin Fei will definitely shine in this college entrance examination, and even Riverside City will benefit from it. After a moment of silence, Chen Han looked up at Zhou Mi and said with great certainty, since Lin Fei can clear the difficult level dungeon by himself, he will definitely have no problem getting admitted to Longguo Vocational University. I think so too. Zhou Mi nodded and agreed. According to previous year's experience, those with level 12 have a chance to be admitted to Longguo Vocational University, and those with level 15 have a 100% chance of being admitted to Longguo Vocational University. I have given Lin Fei a place to guide the new secret realm of level 10. With Lin Fei's strength, there is absolutely no problem in being promoted to level 13 after clearing the level. It is also very possible to be promoted to level 14. Chen Han nodded. He was more optimistic about Lin Fei than Zhou Mi. For a person who can clear difficult level dungeons by himself, it is normal for him to be promoted to level 13 or level 14 before taking the college entrance examination, even level 15 or level 16. As far as he knew, every one of the freshmen who teamed up to pass the difficult level dungeon was admitted to Longguo Vocational University with excellent results. And people like Lin Fei who can clear difficult level dungeons alone can definitely shine in the college entrance examination. Recalling his previous chat with Zhou Mi, Chen Han added, according to what my husband said before, if Lin Fei is so powerful, he must be invited to team up with Zihan for the college entrance examination at all costs. That's right. Zhou Mi nodded and said, although Ms. Chen was in the novice dungeon trial, she was able to clear the difficult level dungeon and be promoted to level 10. But that was achieved through cheating, and the real fighting power must not be strong, maybe not even comparable to Lu Zi. After conquering the new secret realm of level 10, Ms. Chen can be promoted to level 12, but the chance of being admitted to Longguo Vocational University will not exceed 30%. If she can team up with Lin Fei and have Lin Fei here, her chances of being admitted to Longguo Vocational University can at least double to 60%. For this reason, as long as we can invite Lin Fei to form a team, no price is too high. After listening to Zhou Mi's analysis, Chen Han nodded in agreement, groaned, and said, then it will be time for Mr. Zhou to go out and invite Lin Fei. Zhou Mi shook her fan lightly, thought for a while, and said, of course I want to go, but this is not enough. Not enough? Chen Han was stunned. Zhou Mi continued. My idea is to ask the city lord to invite Lin Fei in person. Shall I invite Lin Fei personally? Chen Han hesitated for a moment, unable to bear this look. Zhou Mi also guessed what Chen Han was thinking and continued to persuade. Lin Fei is 100% able to enter Longguo Vocational University. It doesn't matter who he teams up with for the college entrance examination. The initiative is all in his own hands. Only if we show enough sincerity can we impress him. If the lord of the city comes forward in person, Lin Fei will definitely feel our sincerity. Chen Han hesitated for a while, but finally nodded and agreed. Okay, I will personally invite Lin Fei. He would do anything for his daughter to enter Longguo Vocational University. What's more, a peerless genius like Lin Fei is worthy of his own sacrifice. Zhou Mi nodded with a smile and took out a gift list from his arms. With a flick of his finger, the gift list flew to Chen Han's desk. These are the conditions for Lin Fei to open. Please take a look at it, City Lord. Chen Han opened the gift list and after reading it, the corners of his mouth twitched. The conditions offered by Zhou Mi to Lin Fei were extremely generous. Not mentioning those resources and equipment, there are 500,000 gold coins alone. I was really bleeding profusely this time. He then heard Zhou Mi continue. These are the most basic conditions. If Lin Fei is not satisfied, the price can be increased. In addition, if Lin Fei still has conditions, as long as they are not excessive, I can agree to it. Chen Han nodded in agreement. As long as he could invite Dao Lin Fei and his daughter to form a team, it would be worth the effort. Then Zhou Mi continued. In addition, regarding the team formation, we can also make a concession. Give in? Chen Han asked. Zhou Mi nodded, shook his fan slightly, and said unhurriedly, I think it's enough to get a team member spot for Miss Chen. As for the other 3 candidates, let Lin Fei decide on his own. Then he explained the reason for the concession. As I said again, the initiative lies in Lin Fei's hands, and we must show the greatest sincerity. This, Chen Han frowned. His original idea was to invite the 4 most powerful freshmen this year to team up with his daughter for the college entrance examination. But then he thought that the initiative was in Lin Fei's hands. He was the one asking for help, and Lin Fei was more important than the other 3 combined. Therefore, I still nodded and agreed to the careful suggestion. In this way, our sincerity is enough. Zhou Mi nodded with a smile, and struck again while the iron was hot. City Lord, let's set off now. Are you in such a hurry? Chen Han was stunned and asked. The Lu family, the Liang family, and more than a dozen families of various sizes have already gone to Lin Fei's house, so we still have to hurry up and don't get intercepted, Zhou Mi explained. Okay, let's leave quickly. Chen Han became anxious upon hearing this, got up and went with Zhou Mi. As Zhou Mi left, he gave Chen Han another reassurance. Don't worry, City Lord, the terms we offer are definitely the most generous. No one can offer better terms than us. In addition, I was in the dungeon square before and heard that Lin Fei needed mana recovery potions. So, I asked the steward in the house to go to the guild and buy all the mana recovery potions from level 10 to level 13. You give these mana recovery potions to Lin Fei as a greeting gift. I believe Lin Fei will be very happy. The guild building is not far from home. So after Lin Fei left the guild building, he turned to the street where the villa was located not long after walking. Why are there so many hover cars parked in front of my house? Lin Fei couldn't help but be a little surprised when he saw the various hover cars parked in front of his house, almost blocking the road. Hover cars are worth a lot of money, and there aren't many of them in the entire Riverside City. These hover cars parked in front of homes must account for less than half of the total, right? Why are they stopping here? Lin Fei didn't know the situation, so he didn't think much about it. He bypassed the vehicles, came to the door of his house, and pushed the door open. In the courtyard, Dad is wandering for a walk. Seeing that his son was back, he walked over with a smile and asked, My son is back. How is it going to the guild? Do you have enough gold coins? It's enough. Lin Fei said casually. The harvested items were sold for a total of 80,000 gold coins, and I spent another 60,000 gold coins to buy some equipment. Dad grinned and felt relieved. Then I saw Lin Fei pointing at the door and asking, What's going on with those hover cars outside? Why are they all parked in front of our house? Dad pursed his lips towards the living room and said, These people came here to visit you after they heard that you had cleared the difficult level dungeon. Not long after you arrived at the guild, they came to your door one by one. I've been talking to your mother for more than an hour now. Lin Fei snorted, feeling that it was not that simple, and asked again, Do they have anything else to do besides visiting? Haha. Dad didn't know what he thought of, so he couldn't help but sneer and said, After the visit, we will start to recognize relatives with our family. Recognize relatives? Lin Fei was a little surprised. Yes. Dad nodded and explained. Start from the back to the front, and you are now a relative of our family. Now you are having a lively chat with your mother. Lin Fei's family has lived in Riverside City for generations. If you really want to have relatives, you can find connections no matter what. Some of them date back 200 to 300 years. It made them dumbfounded. There seems to be no difference between such a distant relationship and no relationship at all. Dad shook his head repeatedly and said in a disdainful tone, When your sister was admitted to Longguo Vocational University, all the relatives who came were within the 5th server. Now that you have cleared the difficult level dungeon, all your relatives from the 5th server will come to visit you. You can even mention your relationships from hundreds of years ago. Moreover, all of them are from wealthy families and you don't know what they were doing before. Dad obviously looks down on the snobbish behavior of these people and knows that these people are actually here to curry favor with his son. Lin Fei also found it funny after hearing this. When you are poor in the busy city, no one cares about you. When you are rich in the mountains, you have distant relatives. As soon as I cleared the difficult level dungeon, all kinds of monsters appeared. Lin Fei thought for a while and then said, They come here in droves, probably not just to recognize relatives, right? Your mother and I don't think it's that simple either. Dad nodded in agreement. If they were just trying to curry favor with their son, there was no need for these people to go so far. No matter how we asked, they always said they were just here to visit relatives and nothing else. It seems that I won't tell the truth until I see you. Dad spread his hands, looking helpless. After thinking about it for a while, he said to Lin Fei, "Your mother and I guess that they are here begging to team up with you for the college entrance examination. When we chatted before, I learned that each of their families has children taking the college entrance examination this year. This happened last year. Lin Shui got a great opportunity during the trial outside the city and was promoted to level 16. Then several people came to invite Lin Shui to form a team for the college entrance examination. It was just that there was only one day left before the college entrance examination. Everyone basically formed a team to complete it, and Lin Shui's group was already full, so they all rejected it. This year, my son had just finished the novice dungeon trial, and people actually came to him asking to form a team. And there are so many people here, and their identities are not simple. In order to get closer, they even recognized their relatives. Dad felt that he had underestimated his son's ability to clear difficult level dungeons before. After hearing what his father said, Lin Fei nodded in agreement. He actually thinks so too. Principal Jin reminded himself before that Mr. Zhou would invite him to form a team with the city lord's daughter. Unexpectedly, besides Mr. Zhou, there are so many people who want to form a team with me. Lin Fei shook his head secretly, looked at his father, and asked, "Dad, you and your mother didn't say anything, right? If they don't take the initiative to bring it up, we will definitely not say anything." Dad replied seriously, "Don't worry, your mother and I know what's going on and won't cause you any trouble. Mainly because of the experience gained last year. Therefore, my father told my mother early in the morning to let my son make his own decision, and we should not cause any trouble to him." Lin Fei nodded with relief, and then asked, "If they take the initiative to mention it, just refuse it for me, and just say that I have completed the team formation." Lin Fei didn't think much about forming a team for the college entrance examination. And there's nothing to think about. Xu Wei, Liang Jia, plus the city lord's daughter Chen Zihan, there are 3 people. The remaining one is yet to be decided. Let's take a look and then talk about it. After listening to his son's instructions, the father nodded and agreed. "Don't worry, son, we know what to say." Then he asked with a concerned look on his face, "There are so many people coming to our house, it's noisy, and you still want to rest. How about I let them all go back?" "No need." Lin Fei shook his head and refused. "I will go directly to the practice room and I won't be disturbed." "That's okay." Dad nodded, and just as he was about to say something else, there was a sudden roar of a car outside the wall. The father was already accustomed to strange things, and he knew what was going on without even thinking about it. He shook his head helplessly at his son. "Okay, another family comes to recognize relatives." As soon as he finished speaking, there was a knock on the door of the villa. "I'll open the door." Dad left a message and walked towards the door. He stayed in the courtyard. On the one hand, I don't want those people in the living room to talk nonsense. On the other hand, it is also for the convenience of welcoming people coming from behind. Lin Fei shrugged and had no intention of meeting these people. He was about to go to the practice room, but the people in the living room had already noticed that Lin Fei was back. 20 or 30 people surrounded my mother and walked out of the living room and came to Lin Fei. "This is Lin Fei, he is really handsome and a talented person. It's really incredible to clear the difficult level dungeon in one single swipe. No one has ever done it in the history of our riverside city. If I had half the skills of Lin Fei when I was in the novice dungeon trial, I would be able to laugh out of my dreams now. Lin Fei, when do you have time to come to my house as a guest? We are all relatives, so we must stay close to each other in the future." My mother couldn't stop smiling when she heard these flattering words. Lin Fei felt dizzy after hearing this. No wonder Dad doesn't want to talk nonsense with them in the house, it's really annoying. Lin Fei smiled politely in response to them, and then wanted to say goodbye and leave. But then I heard one of them exclaim, "City Lord Chen." After hearing this, everyone who was chattering followed the man's eyes and looked at the door, and fell silent instantly. Lin Fei turned around and looked. I saw my father and Mr. Zhou, one on the left and one on the right, accompanying a burly middle-aged man walking towards me. "Hey, there are a lot of people here." Chen Han looked around and found a lot of acquaintances, so he joked. "The Liu family, the Liang family. They are all well-known families in Riverside City. Those who have no identity may be embarrassed to enter." The purpose of these people should be the same as mine. They all came to invite Lin Fei to team up with his own children for the college entrance examination. Everyone did not dare to joke with Chen Han. When they saw him coming, they all saluted. He also guessed the purpose of Chen Han coming here. He couldn't help but take another look at Lin Fei. The city lord came to visit in person, which was really a face-saving gift. It seems that the city lord attaches great importance to Lin Fei and is bound to invite Lin Fei to form a team. Lin Fei knew that the middle-aged man in front of him was the lord of Riverside City. He cupped his fists and saluted. Lin Fei has met the lord of the city. You don't have to be so formal. Chen Han waved his hand, with a smile on his face, and said in a very approachable manner. The novice dungeon test results are good, and you can even pass the difficult level dungeon. I am very optimistic about you, and I hope you can do better in the college entrance examination. Performance. Thank you, City Lord, for the compliment. Lin Fei was neither humble nor arrogant, but his mother and father behind the City Lord both burst into laughter. Lin Fei looked at the City Lord and continued to ask. The City Lord and Mr. Zhou are here. What's the matter? That's right. Zhou Mi stood up and said to Lin Fei. The new secret realm of level 10 is about to open. We are here to pick you up to conquer the new secret realm of level 10. When Lin Fei heard this, he couldn't help but feel a little strange. The principal said before that Chen Zihan would not start conquering the new secret realm at level 10 until he finished the novice copy trial, which was estimated to take more than 10 hours. It's only been a few hours now, and Mr. Zhou has come to pick him up. Could it be that Chen Zihan completed the novice copy trial so quickly? Lin Fei didn't understand, but he still nodded and agreed. Sorry to trouble Mr. Zhou. Zhou Mi responded with a smile and said, No trouble, just come with me now. Of course, Chen Zihan did not complete the novice copy trial. He just saw so many people coming to his door and was afraid that Lin Fei would be intercepted, so he found a reason to take Lin Fei away. As long as Lin Fei goes with him, he won't be afraid of them intercepting him. When everyone else saw that Zhou Mi was going to take Lin Fei away, they also guessed what he was thinking and secretly cursed Zhou Mi as a thief. Except for Lin Fei, it will take another day for other new job transfers to complete the novice copy trial at the earliest. How can the new secret realm of level 10 be opened now? You are really telling lies with your eyes open. He was clearly looking for a reason to take Lin Fei away without giving them a chance to speak. But the lord of the city is also here, so they can't expose Zhou Mi, let alone stop him. After Lin Fei nodded and agreed to Zhou Mi, he looked at his parents and said, Dad, Mom, I'm going with Mr. Zhou to conquer the new secret realm in level 10. The parents nodded in agreement, but did not forget to say, Son, you must pay attention to safety. Well, I understand. Lin Fei agreed, and then he, the city lord and Zhou Mi said goodbye to everyone and left the house. Everyone behind them looked regretful and watched Lin Fei leave. Knowing that Lin Fei left, he didn't even have a chance to speak. Alas, this is life. Everyone was helpless, but he was not in a hurry to leave. Although the expectation of inviting Lin Fei to team up for the college entrance examination failed, it is still necessary to make good friends with the Lin family. They all could foresee that Lin Fei's future would be limitless, and making good friends with the Lin family would only benefit them and would bring no harm. So I gathered my parents back to the living room and continued to build closer relationships with relatives. Outside the villa, the city lord's motorcade was parked on the road in an orderly manner. More than a dozen guards stood straight, looking straight, guarding the door of Lin Fei's house with serious expressions. Lin Fei followed the city lord and Zhou Mi out of the gate, and got on the extended suspension car in the middle. Upon seeing this, the surrounding guards also got on the other 4 hover vehicles in an orderly manner. 5 hover cars started at the same time and drove slowly towards the city lord's palace. Inside the car, as soon as Lin Fei sat down, he saw Mr. Zhou taking out more than 20 bottles of medicine and placing them on the table in front of him. Mr. Zhou, what are you? Lin Fei recognized that these potions were mana recovery potions, looked at Zhou Mi, and asked in confusion. Zhou Mi smiled slightly and explained. I heard that you needed mana recovery potions, so the lord of the city ordered people to buy these as a meeting gift for you. How can this be done? No reward for no merit. Lin Fei shook his head, subconsciously wanting to refuse. The levels of these mana restoration potions range from level 10 to level 13, with a total of 26 bottles. It was clearly the batch that the steward of the City Lord's palace purchased from the guild. He had listened to the conversation between the two great masters before and thought the City Lord had sold it to his daughter. Unexpectedly, he had bought it for himself, which surprised him. Tingqin Great Master said that these 26 bottles of mana recovery potions are worth a total of 360,000 gold coins, which is not a small amount. Lin Fei would not accept it if it was given to him for no reason. Seeing Lin Fei refuse without hesitation, Zhou Mi was not surprised. Looking at Chen Han said in an unquestionable tone, "You have cleared the difficult level dungeon, which makes up for the gap that no one in Riverside City has cleared the difficult level dungeon. As a city lord, you should express yourself. Besides, it's just more than 20 bottles of mana recovery potion. It's not worth much, so just accept it with confidence." This. Lin Fei was still hesitant. Seeing this, Zhou Mi advised again. "This is the city lord's wish, don't refuse it." Okay. Lin Fei hesitated, but finally accepted it, looked at Chen Han and thanked. "Thank you, city lord." He already figured it out. It must not be that simple for the city lord to give him such a big meeting gift. He probably wanted to ask himself about forming a team to take the college entrance examination. This meeting gift cannot be ignored. Seeing Lin Fei accept it, Chen Han nodded with satisfaction, a smile appeared on his face, and asked with concern. "In 5 days, the college entrance examination will begin. Are you ready for team formation?" Lin Fei felt awestruck, knowing that he was about to get to the point, and said honestly, "Not yet." Zhou Mi nodded and continued Chen Han's words. "Your strength is obvious to all. If you can clear difficult level dungeons by yourself, you will definitely get good results in the college entrance examination. Many people want to form a team with you to take the college entrance examination. The people who went to your house just now probably all had this idea. Actually, the city lord and I also want to invite you to team up with Miss Chen for the college entrance examination." Lin Fei nodded. This was something he had expected. Then he saw Zhou Mi take out a gift list, put it in front of him, and said, "We know that this request is a bit abrupt. After all, no one wants to team up with a stranger to take the college entrance examination. But we come here with sincerity. We only hope to give Ms. Chen a place on the team. As for the other 3, it is up to you. This is a small gift from the lord of the city. I hope you can agree." Lin Fei took the gift list and looked down. Good guy. There are 500,000 gold coins alone. There are also various potions, resources, equipment, and weapons. The total value is about 4 to 5 million. Lin Fei was secretly surprised. Although Principal Jin had reminded him before, he knew that the city lord would definitely offer him good conditions, but he did not expect that the conditions would be so generous. There is absolutely no reason to refuse. What's more, Chen Zihan himself is also a main combat professional, and with the city lord's full training, his own strength is not weak. Lin Fei had already decided in his heart to agree to this request. But he never showed his emotions on his face, so his expression remained calm. Zhou Mi looked at Lin Fei's calm look and couldn't help but think, he wouldn't look down on this, right? The value of these things is not low, and he was moved when he saw them. Of course, if Lin Fei really opened his mouth, they would have no choice but to admit it. Zhou Mi gritted his teeth and continued. "In addition to the things on the gift list, if you have other needs, you can just ask and we will try our best to meet them." Lin Fei was already very satisfied with these conditions and would not embarrass everyone by opening his mouth. But he still thought about it and said, "Level 10's new secret realm, I want 2 places for Liang Jia and Shu Wei. I have already planned to form a team with them to take the college entrance examination, and they will not refuse even if they want to come. Level 10's new secret realm is such a good opportunity, so of course I have to take them with me." Zhou Mi agreed without thinking. "Okay, I will make arrangements." Liang Jia and Shu Wei, one is a rare professional and the other is a main battle professional, and they both cleared simple level dungeons alone. They are outstanding freshmen this year. There will be no objections to letting them participate in the strategy of level 10's new secret realm. It is estimated that Lin Fei wanted to form a team with them to take the college entrance examination, so he wanted to drag them together to conquer the new secret realm in level 10. Zhou Mi couldn't help but sigh in her heart. She was so lucky to be able to team up with Lin Fei for the college entrance examination without having to pay anything. Unlike Chen Zihan, he had to pay a sky-high price to get a team member spot. But there is nothing that can be done about it. Who allowed him to have a good relationship with Lin Fei? Zhou Mi sighed with emotion, then looked at Lin Fei and asked, "Do you have any other requests?" "No more." Lin Fei shook his head. The conditions offered by the city lord are already very generous, and he cannot push too far. "Then we've settled." Zhou Mi nodded with satisfaction and said, "Everything on the gift list will be handed over to you before the college entrance examination." "Yeah." Lin Fei nodded in agreement. The city lord sat aside and said nothing, just quietly listening to the conversation between Zhou Mi and Lin Fei. He was very satisfied that Lin Fei was not as open as a lion, and his impression of Lin Fei became even better. At the same time, I felt relieved. If she can team up with Lin Fei to take the college entrance examination, her daughter's probability of being admitted to Longguo Vocational University will be greatly increased, and it will not be worth the price she has paid. If Lin Fei could take care of his daughter during the college entrance examination, he would be more confident. It's just that it's impossible to make such a request to Lin Fei. He is not one of the guards of the city lord's mansion. I can only tell my daughter privately to take advantage of this strategy to conquer the new secret realm of level 10 and build a good relationship with Lin Fei so that Lin Fei can take more care of her during the college entrance examination. Chen Han thought so in his heart that the convoy had arrived at the city lord's mansion. Inside the city lord's palace, Lin Fei got out of the car and followed Zhou Mi to a practice room. "You rest here first. I will call you before I go to conquer the secret realm." Zhou Mi paused at this point, with a trace of uneasiness on his face. "I estimate it will take more than 10 hours. He said before that the new secret realm of level 10 would be opened soon, so he brought Lin Fei over, but now he said that it would take more than 10 hours to open. No need for Lin Fei to say anything. He himself felt a little sorry for Lin Fei. Lin Fei still looked calm. On the way here, he wanted to understand that Mr. Zhou was just looking for a reason to take him away, and the secret realm was not turned on at all. So it's not surprising to hear this now. He nodded to Mr. Zhou to express his understanding, and then watched Mr. Zhou leave. He was the only one left in the practice room. Lin Fei looked around and had to say that the training room in the city lord's mansion was indeed high level. Not only is it large in area, but it also has all kinds of facilities. Many equipment that can only be seen in textbooks are available here. There is also a dedicated rest area. Lin Fei strolled to the rest area, sat on a bench, and took out all the mana recovery potions from his backpack. 2 bottles of level 13 mana recovery potions, 3 bottles of level 12 mana recovery potions, 9 bottles of level 11 mana recovery potions, and 12 bottles of level 10 mana recovery potions. These are the 26 bottles of mana recovery potions that the city lord gave me. Plus the 6 bottles of level 9 mana recovery potions I purchased from the guild. These 32 bottles are all the mana recovery potions I have. Lin Fei took stock and estimated that he would have enough for himself before the college entrance examination. It's a pity that I have already used 3 bottles of level 10 mana recovery potion in the morning, and I can't use it anymore for a short time. Otherwise I can continue to summon the ghosts of the dead for synthesis now. Shaking his head slightly, he put away the 32 bottles of mana recovery potion. Lin Fei took out the sky-breaking giant sword and the spirit-sealing cross from the backpack space. These are all equipment purchased in the guild for the ghosts of the dead. The former can increase strength by 150 points and has a 10% chance of causing the enemy to enter a bleeding state for 10 seconds. The latter can increase strength by 180 points and add 15% damage when attacking. Summon the undead ghost from the backpack space. Lin Fei equipped it with these 2 items. The strength of the undead ghost increased instantly. Black iron level undead ghost. Life. 610. Strength. 650 plus 330. Agility. 630 plus 20. Mana. 600. Equipment. Ghost Phantom Belt, Sky-Breaking Great Sword, Spirit-Sealing Cross. Skill. Strengthen. Enhancement. Consumes 150 mana points to double the attack power for 30 seconds. Cooling time 1 hour. Ghost Phantom Belt. Level 4 item. Increases agility by 20 points after wearing it. Breaking Sky Great Sword. Level 7 item. After equipped, it increases strength by 150 points, and has a 10% chance of causing the enemy to enter a bleeding state for 10 seconds. Spirit Sealing Cross. Level 7 item. Increases strength by 180 points when equipped, and adds 15% damage when attacking. With 980 power points, the strength of the Undead Ghost has already caught up with level 15 monsters. If combined with enhanced skills, it is estimated that it can kill level 15 monsters instantly. Lin Fei looked at the attribute panel of the Undead Ghost and nodded with satisfaction. This strength is enough to make you invincible in the new secret realm of level 10. After all, the monsters in the new secret realm at level 10 will not be stronger than level 15. Do it all. Lin Fei walked to the training ground, sat down cross-legged, and began to use the meditation recovery method to restore the cleared mana. At level 1, he only has 20 mana points, which can be restored after 5 hours of meditation. Now promoted to level 10, the mana has increased to 260 points, and requires 15 hours of meditation to fully recover. Time flies by. After 15 hours of meditation, Lin Fei's mana was finally at full capacity. However, he did not continue to summon the ghosts of the dead for synthesis. You can't use the mana recovery potion yet, so you have to keep these mana for emergencies. Rested for another hour. The door to the practice room was opened again. Zhou Mi walked into the practice room with a girl in black. She should be Chen Zihan, the city lord's daughter. Lin Fei's eyes passed over Zhou Mi and rested on the girl in black. The girl in black is not tall and looks dainty. She has short shoulder-length hair and a round face with a little baby fat. Maybe it's because her profession is an assassin, so she gives people a sharp and agile look. Chen Zihan also noticed Lin Fei and also looked at him. He has a slim and slender figure, a handsome and sunny appearance, and his ordinary clothes cannot hide his fresh and refined temperament. At first glance, he looks like a friendly neighbor. Is this the peerless genius Lin Fei that my father and Mr. Zhou mentioned? Chen Zihan looked at Lin Fei with a somewhat complicated expression. After completing the novice copy and returning, she heard about Lin Fei's deeds from her father and Mr. Zhou. The only hidden professional who cleared the difficult level dungeon in just 10 hours. From her words, she could hear the admiration her father and Mr. Zhou had for Lin Fei. This achievement is indeed worthy of such praise. With the assistance of 5 guards, it took me 16 hours to clear the difficult level dungeon. But Lin Fei only spent 10 hours, still doing it alone. The gap between them is no longer just a tiny bit. Although he has reached level 10 after clearing the level, if he really had to compete with Lin Fei, he would probably be far from his opponent. Fortunately, Lin Fei is a friend rather than an enemy. His father has secured a place for himself to take the college entrance examination as a team with Lin Fei. Lin Fei is strong, which is a good thing for him. Zhou Mi led Chen Zihan to Lin Fei and introduced, "This is the city lord's daughter, Miss Chen Zihan." After that, he introduced to Chen Zihan, "This is Lin Fei, the one who has cleared the difficult level dungeon." Chen Zihan nodded, stretched out his right hand and said generously, "I have heard my father and Mr. Zhou mention you a long time ago, saying that you are very strong, you will definitely get good results in the college entrance examination, and your future is limitless. Please take good care of me when we cooperate in the future." Her father had just given her numerous instructions to have a good relationship with Lin Fei. That's why she, who was always taciturn, was so enthusiastic towards Lin Fei. Lin Fei also reached out and shook her hand briefly, and said politely, "Let's form a team together and take care of each other." Zhou Mi stood aside and nodded with satisfaction, then took out 2 talismans from the backpack space and handed them to the 2 of them respectively. This is a forced teleportation talisman. If you encounter danger in the level 10 secret realm, you can use it to save yourself. Send it out by force. The dungeon secret realm outside the city generally cannot be exited midway. But there are special circumstances. For example, using props such as the forced teleportation talisman, you can teleport yourself out midway. It's just that this kind of life-saving props are rare in quantity and expensive, and ordinary people can't afford them. Lin Fei knew the value of the forced teleportation talisman and carefully put it away. Although I won't use it this time, I can keep it for future use. Chen Zihan also took the talisman and put it into the backpack space. This time you are a team of 6, and we will attack the new secret realm in level 10 together. Zhou Mi continued to the 2 of them. The other 4 people are already on their way. When we are all together, we will leave the city together and go to the location of the secret realm. Lin Fei and Chen Zihan nodded after hearing this. Watch Zhou leave and wait for the arrival of the other 4 people in the practice room. Not long after, the door to the practice room was opened. A tall, graceful and elegant woman walked in. With a smile on her face, she walked closer and greeted Chen Zihan warmly. Zihan, long time no see. How was the novice dungeon trial? It went very well. I have been promoted to level 10. Chen Zihan nodded, smiled at Xu Jing, and asked, Sister Jing, how are you doing there? I can't compare to you. Xu Jing smiled like a flower and said with a hint of regret, I have been working very hard these past 2 days. I have completed the ordinary level dungeon as a team and have just been promoted to level 7. That's not bad. Chen Zihan said with a smile. You can advance to level 7 by completing the novice dungeon trial. Next, you can complete the new secret realm of level 10 and there will be no problem in advancing to level 10. This strength is enough to be admitted to the top 50 prestigious schools in Dragon Kingdom. Chen Zihan turned to look at Lin Fei next to him, wanting to introduce Xu Jing. Sister Jing, this is. I know him. Xu Jing interrupted her, looked at Lin Fei and smiled. Lin Fei, the only hidden professional, cleared the difficult level dungeon in just 1 day. He and I used the same dungeon and we met in the dungeon square. Lin Fei's achievements were so dazzling that he first caused a sensation in the dungeon square. Every student in the first and second middle schools knew him. Xu Jing stretched out her hand and said openly, Hello, my name is Xu Jing, and Zihan and I are both students of number 1 middle school. Hello. Lin Fei stretched out his hand and shook it briefly, without introducing himself much. Xu Jing had made it very clear just now, and there was no need for him to repeat it again. Chen Zihan said to Lin Fei at this time, Sister Jing is a rare professional, her profession is a gunner, and she is also very strong. Lin Fei nodded. The gunslinger profession is an advanced and rare profession for main combat professions such as sharpshooter and gunner. The student who awakened to a rare profession in number 1 middle school this year should be the Xu Jing in front of him. Xu Jing heard Chen Zihan's words and joked, Zihan, you are deliberately scorning me. I am a person who has cleared the ordinary level dungeon in a team, how can I compare to you 2 who have cleared the hard level dungeon? As he spoke, his eyes fell on Lin Fei. Chen Zihan also took another look at Lin Fei. He used cheating methods to clear the difficult level dungeon, and his results were all false. Lin Fei's ability to clear the difficult level dungeon was based on his real skills. Lin Fei was a little uncomfortable being stared at by the 2 men, so he smiled politely and said nothing. Xu Jing turned to look at Chen Zihan and said, Zihan, thank you so much for this guide to level 10's new secret realm. I know it was you who asked to bring me along. What is our relationship? You are a rare professional. Of course I have to call you. Chen Zihan said matter-of-factly. Xu Jing smiled and was not polite to Chen Zihan. There is no need to be polite in their relationship. Out of the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of the door to the practice room and saw Lu Zi coming in. Xu Jing curled her lips at Chen Zihan and whispered. The principal specifically asked Master Guo for a spot for him. This time he will conquer the new secret realm of level 10. Come with us. Chen Zihan also saw Lu Zi. The smile on his face disappeared instantly. His expression was calm. He nodded without answering. It seems that the relationship is not very good. Lin Fei saw the young man who had just come in, and noticed the behavior of the 2 people around him, guessing that the relationship between the 2 and the young man was not good. But none of this has anything to do with him. Lu Zi came over, but Chen Zihan and Xu Jing ignored him. Lin Fei was seeing Lu Zi for the first time, and it was hard to greet him rashly if he didn't know him. The practice room fell silent for a while, and the atmosphere was a bit awkward. However, Lu Zi looked normal and looked at Chen Zihan with a smile and said enthusiastically, "Zihan, when did you complete the novice trial? How was your result?" Chen Zihan looked unhappy and said coldly, "First, call me by my full name. Don't call me Zihan. We are not that familiar yet. Second, just take care of yourself. My grades have nothing to do with you." After encountering a tough problem, Lu Zi was not embarrassed and said with a smile, "I don't care about you. Thank you for your concern, but I don't need it." Chen Zihan's tone was still unhappy. Xu Jing was also annoyed by this fly, and then said, "Lu Zi, you'd better stay somewhere cool. Zihan has already said that he doesn't want to talk to you." Lu Zi turned a deaf ear and continued to say to Chen Zihan, "Zihan, let's attack the new secret realm of level 10 together. Everyone should take care of each other. Level 10's new secret realm has no protection mechanism and is quite dangerous, but don't worry, I will protect you." Chen Zihan turned his head and did not answer. Xu Jing said unceremoniously, "Zihan's level is higher than yours, does he need your protection? Besides, Lin Fei is with us, so we won't bother you at all." Lu Zi's face darkened. Xu Jing's last words touched his sore spot. He had heard about Lin Fei's situation from Principal Wang. Finally understood where he lost to Lin Fei. Damn, the summons don't have much equipment, but they are so powerful. Even the resources and equipment I spent millions of gold coins on can't compare. I really don't understand how he did it. They are also Lord-type professions, why is the gap so big? Now he has completely lost the thought of comparing with Lin Fei. He doesn't even dare to think about it. He feels heartbroken when he thinks about it. Participate in the novice copy trial with confidence. As a result, not only did he fail to achieve the goal he set, but he was also left far behind by Lin Fei. Just thinking about it makes me feel disappointed. It was hard to suppress the disappointment in my heart. Lu Zi looked at Lin Fei and remembered Principal Wang's instructions to him before coming, and couldn't help gritting his teeth. I want to get close to Lin Fei and beg me to team up with him to take the college entrance examination, but there is no way. With my own strength, I can also be admitted to Longguo Vocational University. If you don't believe it, just wait and see. Lin Fei stood aside and felt the slight hostility on Lu Zi's body, and couldn't help but frown. He wouldn't hate himself because of Xu Jing's words, "With Lin Fei with us, we won't bother you no matter what, right? Is your breath so narrow?" But I didn't take it too seriously. He had also heard the principal talk about Lu Zi. Hidden professionals are also lord-type professions. They have the power support of the Lu family behind them, and their strength is not weak. After clearing the ordinary level dungeon as a team, you should have been promoted to level 8. However, since I have the undead ghosts with me, I can deal with level 15 monsters, let alone level 8 Lu Zi, so it's no big deal. Lu Zi was slapped by Xu Jing, and when the sore spot was touched, he stopped pestering him. Without saying hello to Lin Fei, he found a place to sit down and rest. Lin Fei didn't care either. Now 4 people from the 6-person group have come, and only Xu Wei and Liang Jia are not here. Not long after, Xu Wei and Liang Jia arrived hand in hand. As soon as they met, Xu Wei jogged all the way happily, came to Lin Fei, gave a thumbs up, and said enthusiastically, "Brother Fei is so loyal. Help me at the critical moment." He already knew that it was Brother Fei who helped him get a spot in the new secret realm of level 10, and he was full of gratitude to Lin Fei. "I am just an ordinary main battle class, and my family is also a small family. Normally, it is impossible to get a quota for the new secret realm of level 10. Thanks to Brother Fei, I was able to get this opportunity. It's easy." Lin Fei smiled faintly and said, "Besides, your strength is not bad, you can also clear the simple level dungeon alone. You should have cleared the ordinary level copy by now, right? An ordinary level dungeon to clear the level with Sister 2 as a team." Xu Wei nodded heavily and said with some regret, "Unfortunately, after clearing the level, I was only promoted to level 6, unlike Sister 2 who is already at level 7. This result is actually not bad, but among these 6 people, he is the one with the lowest rank." Lin Fei patted him on the shoulder and said, "Keep up the good work. After conquering this level 10 secret realm, there is still hope for promotion to level 10. Hee. Fatty Shu scratched his head and said with a silly smile, "This is all thanks to Brother Tofei." Liang Jia also came over at this time, glanced at Lin Fei with complicated eyes, pursed her lips, and whispered, "Thank you." She is a rare professional and has a chance to get a spot in the guide to level 10 Secret Realm. But when the family approached Master Guo through connections, he was declined. The reason is that the city owner only plans to open 4 quotas to conquer the new Secret Realm of level 10, and the quota is now full. After being rejected, Liang Jia was naturally filled with disappointment. It wasn't until later that the principal came to him and said that Lin Fei had secured a spot for him. She was surprised and happy, and she was equally grateful to Lin Fei. It's just that she has a cold personality, and her expression of gratitude is not as grandiose as Fatty Shoes. When Lin Fei heard Liang Jia's words of thanks, he just smiled and nodded, which was considered a response, and he didn't say much. Lu Zi, who was resting not far away, heard the conversation between the 3 of them. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly, and his expression was a little depressed. He knows the inside story. The city owner originally planned to only open 4 places to conquer the new Secret Realm of level 10. It was Lin Fei who made the city lord change his mind and increase the number of people from 4 to 6. The 2 extra spots were given to Liang Jia and Xu Wei. Lu Zi couldn't help but feel a little frustrated when he thought that the principal asked him to get his quota in shame. But Lin Fei made the city lord change his mind and add 2 more quotas with just 1 sentence. The gap between himself and Lin Fei was so big that there was no hope of catching up. No one noticed Lu Zi, who was secretly sad. After Liang Jia and Xu Wei arrived, the group of 6 finally arrived. After learning the news, Zhou Mi also came back and summoned the 6 people. Now that everyone is here, let's set off now and go to the location of the Secret Realm outside the city. Zhou Mi said straightforwardly without any nonsense. However, I will give you one last instruction. The Secret Realm outside the city has no protection mechanism. I don't know how many professionals die in the Secret Realm every year, so you must be careful. I would rather be too cautious. I would rather not be able to pass the level, but I must protect my own safety. Even if you don't clear the level, as long as you persist for 5 days, you will be safely transported out of the Secret Realm. This was mainly said to Xu Wei and Liang Jia. Both Lin Fei and Chen Zihan have compulsory teleportation talismans, so their safety is guaranteed. Everyone nodded. Then he followed Zhou Mi out of the practice room and came to the parking lot inside the city lord's mansion. There are 7 hover cars parked here, and more than 20 guards are waiting to escort them all the way to the Secret Realm outside the city. Everyone got on the bus, and the 7 suspended vehicles were started one after another. The convoy set off, left the city lord's palace, and headed towards the city gate. Passing through the city gates unimpeded, the convoy leaves Riverside City. This was Lin Fei's first time out of the city. Through the window, I saw the vast emptiness outside the city, with all kinds of professionals active around Riverside City. As the convoy continued to move away, the surrounding vegetation became more and more lush. After entering the forest, Lin Fei could no longer see the professionals, but he saw many monsters in the dense forest. Perhaps because they were aware of the powerful strength of the convoy, these monsters did not take the initiative to attack, and the convoy continued unimpeded in the forest. After driving for nearly 3 hours, the team came to a valley. There are more than a dozen guards guarding the entrance of the valley. After verifying their identity, the convoy officially entered the valley. In the valley, in addition to their 7 hover cars, there are 2 more hover cars parked. Lin Fei recognized one of them as Principal Jin's car at a glance. The principal is not watching in the dungeon square, but he is here? Lin Fei was a little surprised when he saw Principal Jin standing in front of the Secret Realm entrance waiting. Not only Principal Jin, but Principal Wang from number 1 middle school also came. The 6 best students from number 1 and number 2 high school went out to explore the Secret Realm. They couldn't sit still in the dungeon square, so they came over to take a look. After Principal Jin saw Lin Fei and the others, he walked over and said to the 3 of them seriously, "Are you all ready? Be sure to pay attention to safety after entering." The 3 nodded with serious expressions. They have heard this sentence many times and have long remembered it in their hearts. Principal Jin then smiled with satisfaction, looked at Lin Fei again, took out 4 bottles of mana recovery potions and handed them to him. "This is what I promised you before, and I will give it to you now. Although he already had no shortage of mana recovery potions, he couldn't refuse the principal's kindness. Lin Fei thanked him and took it, putting the mana recovery potion into his backpack. The principal nodded with satisfaction. Buying these 4 bottles of mana restoration potions is not easy. When he went to the guild, he happened to meet the steward of the city lord's palace who was wrapping up the guild's mana recovery potions from level 10 to level 13. After some hard talking, the other party kept a bottle for himself at each level. Now that Lin Fei accepted it, it was not in vain that he had put so much thought into it. Beside, Principal Wang also gave Chen Zihan and the other 3 instructions, and the content was very different from Principal Jin. Just one more sentence to let Chen Zihan and Lu Zi take more care of each other. Lu Zi agreed with a smile on his face, while Chen Zihan just nodded perfunctorily, obviously not listening. When Zhou Mi saw that the 2 principals had finished talking, he smiled and said, "Okay, it's time to enter the secret realm." After the 6 people heard this, they each said goodbye to the principal and walked to the entrance of secret realm. Under careful command, 6 people entered the secret realm one after another. There was a space fluctuation. Lin Fei found himself in a ruins with broken walls. Is this the inside of secret realm? Lin Fei looked around. Dilapidated houses, asphalt roads full of potholes, and a row of bare dead tree trunks on the roadside. It looks like this secret realm is a bit like a human city. Lin Fei guessed in his heart, but he didn't pay much attention to it. Let's take a look at what's on the mission panel of Secret Realm first. Secret Realm. City of Despair, level 10. Difficulty. Hard, level limit, 6 level 15. Secret Realm clearance conditions. Kill all monsters in Despair City. Current progress is 0.5 thousandths. Do I have to kill all the monsters to pass the level? Lin Fei's eyes stayed on the last item on the mission panel and muttered to himself. Although it is a difficult secret realm, it is not difficult to kill all the monsters. Lin Fei continued to think and looked around. It's just that this secret realm seems to be quite large. I'm afraid most of the time it's going to be wasted looking for monsters. There are 5,000 monsters scattered in the endless secret realm space. It may take a lot of time just to search for monsters. Hopefully 5 days will be enough time to find all the monsters. Lin Fei released the undead ghost from the backpack space and walked in a random direction. After walking along the dilapidated asphalt road for a full hour, Lin Fei finally encountered the first monster. Marg Crab. Level 9. Introduction. Surviving in a large mud pond, the 2 crab claws have powerful destructive power and strong defense. After a quick glance at the introduction of the mire crab, Lin Fei didn't take it to heart. Instead, he smiled and said, "It's a level 9 monster. This secret realm is right." He didn't need to say more. The undead ghost equipped with the sky-breaking great sword has already charged forward with his sword in hand. With just one strike of the sword, the mire crab was split from the middle into 2 pieces. No matter how strong its defense is, it is still vulnerable to absolute strength. Kill level 9 mire crab. Experience plus 150. Huh? You actually get more experience than killing ordinary level 10 monsters. Lin Fei couldn't help but be a little surprised when he saw the experience prompt. Is this the benefit of the first walkthrough of the new secret realm? Killing level 9 monsters can normally increase 90 experience points. He is already at level 10, and killing level 9 monsters will probably increase his experience by 70 points. But now that I have killed the level 9 mire crab, my experience has increased by 150 points, which is far more than normal. The only possibility is that the new secret realm was conquered for the first time. Double the experience? Lin Fei cheered up and looked forward to conquering secret realm. By clearing this secret realm on your own, you may be able to level up to level 13, or even level 14. Keep going. Lin Fei took the undead ghost and strode forward. As for the level 5 items dropped by the mire crab after being killed, Lin Fei didn't even look at them. Another 3 hours passed. The surrounding buildings were getting denser and denser, and Lin Fei knew that he was heading in the right direction. His initial position should be on the edge of the city, but now he is approaching the interior of the city. Finally we encountered a monster again. Lin Fei noticed several figures shaking around in a building and immediately asked the ghost of the undead to go check it out. Kill level 9 zombies, experience plus 140, kill level 8 zombies, experience plus 100. Kill level 8 zombies, experience plus 100, after receiving 3 experience increasing prompts, the ghost of the undead also walked out of the building. That's not right. Lin Fei did not rush on his way, but stood on the spot, thinking with some surprise. I have been walking for 4 hours, and I only encountered 2 groups of monsters. This frequency is a bit too low. Something instinctively felt wrong. Lin Fei opened the task panel. I found that the original 05 thousandths has now become 215 5 thousandths. I only killed 4 monsters, so the remaining 211 monsters should have been killed by them. Isn't this gap too big? Lin Fei found that the other 5 people encountered far more monsters than himself, and he became even more confused. Maybe the place where I fell was wrong. Monsters are concentrated inside the city, and there are very few monsters on the edge of the city. Lin Fei could only explain this, then he put away his doubts and continued to move towards the city along the asphalt road. After walking for about half an hour, I saw 5 or 6 monsters gathering in the distance. But this time there was no rush to let the undead ghosts deal with them. Lin Fei found that these monsters seemed to be heading in one direction. It's interesting. Lin Fei rubbed his hands, put the undead ghost into the backpack space, and followed them quietly. Follow them, you may be able to find more monsters. Lin Fei planned to follow them to find the monster's lair, and then have another go at it. After following for more than half an hour, Lin Fei discovered that monsters were coming towards this direction from all directions. The original 5, 6 or 7 monsters have now become more than 20. No wonder I can't always touch them, they all come here. Lin Fei suppressed his murderous intention and continued to follow quietly. After an hour, a tall water tower comes into view. There are more than 200 monsters gathered under the water tower, and they are climbing towards the top of the water tower little by little. Seeing the fat figure on the top of the water tower, Lin Fei couldn't help but laugh. It's actually this fat man. The noise was too big, wasn't it? All the monsters were attracted by him, and I couldn't even touch one for a long time. After Lin Fei finished laughing, he felt something was wrong again. If he remembered correctly, Fatty Shu was only level 6, right? Among the more than 200 monsters, there are many level 10 monsters, and even a few level 11 and level 12 monsters. Can he handle it? Only then did Lin Fei realize that Fatty Shu might be in trouble. Undead ghost, go help. Lin Fei released the undead ghost and let it go to support Fatty Shu. The top of the water tower. Fatty Shu kept firing his bow and arrows, knocking down the monsters that tried to rush up one after another. But this only temporarily stopped the attack, as there were still a steady stream of monsters rushing up below. It's too hard for me too. Fatty Shu kept shooting arrows while complaining in his heart. When he first entered the secret realm, he found that he had fallen next to a group of monsters. Before he could react, he was surrounded by more than a dozen monsters. The lowest level of these dozen monsters is level 8, so he is certainly no match. As they fled all the way, they were chased by more and more monsters, and in the end the total number exceeded 100, and they even attracted all nearby monsters. Things are getting worse. He finally found a commanding height and held it firmly, earning himself a chance to breathe. The stalemate with the monster lasted for an hour. Then he sadly discovered that he had nowhere to escape. Although the water tower can make it easier for him to resist monsters, it also traps him. Looking at the only 100 arrows left in the backpack space and less than half of the mana on the attribute panel, Shu Wei knew that if he didn't think of a way, he would be consumed by these monsters sooner or later. But what can be done? There are monsters down there, and you can't escape even by yourself. Seeing more and more monsters gathering below, Shu Wei wailed in his heart. Help, someone can come and save me. He doesn't want to die here. I haven't even held a young lady's hand yet. God, please, send someone down to save me. As long as I can escape this disaster, I am willing to lose 10 years of my life. As long as I can escape this disaster, I am willing to lose 10 years of my life. Shu Wei just finished speaking. Then there was a bang under the water tower. Many monsters that were climbing the water tower jumped off the ground and gathered towards the east. The pressure on Shu Hui's side suddenly decreased. God has shown his spirit. Shu Hui's chubby face trembled and he was overjoyed. He looked down at the water tower with wide eyes. I saw a gloomy ghost constantly swinging a sword to kill monsters. Ghost of the dead? It's Brother Fei. Brother Fei is here to save me. Shu Wei danced with excitement after recognizing the ghost of the dead. At the same time, he did not forget to clasp his hands, bow to the sky, and whisper nervously. God, I was joking just now, don't take it seriously, don't let me shorten my life. After bowing devoutly 3 times, Shu Wei felt relieved and continued to draw his bow and arrow, shooting at the few remaining monsters below. There are undead ghosts that attract most monsters. The pressure on Shu Hui's side was reduced by half, and he could easily deal with the monsters rushing up. Lin Fei stood on the roof of a warehouse and watched a large number of monsters attacking the undead ghosts, but he was not anxious at all. Except for a few monsters above level 10, he ordered the undead ghosts to kill them immediately. Killing other low-level monsters would not do him much good either. So he ordered the undead ghosts to be consumed slowly, leaving Shu Wei to kill them. The battle lasted 3 hours. Shu Hui's bow, arrows and mana were all exhausted, and all the monsters below were killed. Lin Fei then jumped down from the warehouse roof and came to the bottom of the water tower. The monsters are all dead, you can come down now. Lin Fei looked up at the top of the water tower and said loudly. Okay. Shu Wei agreed loudly and wanted to climb down the ladder of the water tower. But after just glancing down, he felt dizzy and his legs were trembling. After a long while, he was still in a daze without taking a step. Lin Fei didn't see anyone for a long time, and couldn't help shouting again. So slow. Why are you dawdling up there? After a while, Shu Hui's trembling voice came from above. Fei. Brother Fei, I just remembered that I am afraid of heights and dare not go down. Afraid of heights? Lin Fei's face suddenly darkened. You've been up there fighting monsters for hours, but nothing happened. Now that the monsters have been dealt with, you told me that you were afraid of heights and dare not come down. Are you kidding me? Stop joking, come down quickly, Lin Fei said with a dark face. Brother Fei, I'm not kidding, I'm really afraid of heights. Fatty Shu's voice sounded like he was crying, and it really sounded like this. Lin Fei was also speechless. Using a teleportation skill, he arrived at the top of the water tower and saw Fatty Shu, whose calves were trembling. Without further ado, he used his teleportation skills again and brought Fatty Shu back to the ground. Fatty Shu's eyes widened and he realized that he had already come down in the blink of an eye. He couldn't help but exclaimed. Brother Fei, what kind of skill do you have? Teleportation? It's amazing. Then there was another wave of fear. I can't go to such a high place anymore. It's too scary. If I accidentally fall, I will at least fall half to death. Lin Fei looked at her speechlessly, and after a while he asked, what's going on here? Why are you being targeted by so many monsters? Oh, such bad luck. Shu Wei sighed, patted his chest in fear, and said with lingering fear. I was surrounded by monsters as soon as I came in, and then I ran for my life, but the monsters chased me more and more, and I couldn't resist them at all. If Brother Fei hadn't come to save me, I might have ended up here today. Ah. No one else has this kind of luck. He couldn't meet a monster for a long time, but Fatty Shu was chased by the monster for a long time. Lin Fei twitched his lips, not knowing what to say. He just comforted. Okay, it's a false alarm. Besides, since you killed so many monsters this time, you should have gained a lot of experience, right? It's a blessing in disguise. Shu Wei then remembered and couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. He quickly opened the attribute panel and found that he had been promoted to level 7 at some point, and the experience bar had reached 80%. It was estimated that it would not take long to be promoted to level 8. He suddenly beamed with joy and forgot about the thrill just now. Seeing him like this, Lin Fei knew that nothing was wrong. He patted his shoulder and said, I'll give you 2 hours to rest. Let's continue setting off in 2 hours. No problem. Shu Wei nodded and agreed without even thinking about it. With Brother Fei here, it's extremely safe. No matter how many monsters you encounter, you don't have to worry. You can also follow Fei Zhe and kill everyone, and increase your level. It's not too pretty. I almost got promoted to level 8 this time. Maybe I can get promoted to level 10 next time. Fatty Shu thought happily, then sat cross-legged to rest. Lin Fei was not idle either and asked the ghosts of the dead to collect the items everywhere. I have to say that this is the first time the new secret realm has been conquered, and the rewards are indeed generous. Almost every monster will drop items after being killed. There are a large number of items scattered densely near the water tower, at least 200 to 300 items. Lin Fei no longer likes items below level 7. So only let the undead ghosts collect items above level 7. There are more than 20 pieces here. Half of it was left for Fatty Shu, and the rest was stored in Lin Fei's backpack space, waiting to be sold at the guild when he returned. 2 hours later, Fatty Shu finished his rest. I found that I had more than a dozen items above level 7, and I smiled from ear to ear. It's good to act together with Brother Fei. Not only will you level up quickly, but you will also gain rich rewards. Lin Fei stood up, looked around, and asked him, "Do you know where there are more monsters?" Shu Wei thought for a moment and said, "When I was on the water tower, I saw a large number of monsters gathering in 2 directions from a distance. One is the north, which is the center of the city. The other is to the east, where there are large tracts of factories." Lin Fei nodded and asked casually, "Which place is closer?" "The factory to the east," Fatty Shu said without hesitation. "Okay, let's go to the factory in the east first." Lin Fei nodded, found the direction, and walked towards the east. Shu Wei also followed him swaggeringly, his face full of confidence. "Monsters, tremble. Brother Fei and I are here to take care of you." As Fatty Shu said, the large factories in the east are not far from the water tower. The two rushed over at full speed, killing some of the monsters they encountered, and finally arrived in just over an hour. Standing on a 2-story building, you have a wide view. Fatty Shu looked at the factory area below and said excitedly, "Brother Fei, look, it's the eldest sister, she is here." Lin Fei nodded and looked downstairs. Liang Jia was seen being besieged by dozens of monsters. But he was not in a hurry because of this. Instead, he was able to move among dozens of monsters with ease, seizing the gap from time to time and killing a monster. Although there are still a steady stream of monsters coming around. But depending on the situation, the speed at which the monsters arrived was not as fast as Liang Jia's speed at killing them. Obviously the situation on her side is not as critical as Shu Hui's side. Fatty Shu looked at Liang Jia, who had strong agility and sharp swordsmanship, and couldn't help but sigh. Eldest sister is still very powerful, she can deal with so many monsters with ease. Lin Fei saw that Liang Jia only looked relaxed, but was actually under a lot of pressure. He glanced at Shu Wei and said, "Why are you still standing there? Hurry up and help." The monsters were restrained by Liang Jia, and their backs were undefended. Now was a good time for him to shoot cold arrows in the back. Shu Wei reacted, smiled, and quickly drew his bow and arrow, aiming at the monster's back. Just listen to a whooshing sound. The arrow hit the monster in the back of the heart, killing him instantly. After hitting the target, Fatty Shu was very excited and continued to shoot the monster with arrows. Liang Jia below also noticed that a monster was killed by a sudden arrow. Following the direction of the arrow, they found Lin Fei and the two of them. His nervousness immediately relaxed, knowing that these monsters would be eliminated soon. Lin Fei stood on the roof of the building and did not take action immediately. After observing for a while, I found that there were 2 level 11 monsters among the monsters that besieged Liang Jia. It was because of their entanglement that Liang Jia was restrained and the battle was not over for a long time. Otherwise, she would have eliminated all these monsters long ago. "Released the undead ghost from the backpack space," Lin Fei said lightly. "Destroy all monsters above level 10. As for the monsters below level 10, let Liang Jia and Shu Wei deal with them." The ghosts of the dead moved in response. He immediately jumped off the roof and came to Liang Jia's side. Without saying a word, he swung 2 swords and killed the 2 level 11 monsters. He also didn't let go of the remaining level 10 monsters. With a few swords, he cut the monsters into 2 pieces, then stepped aside and left the remaining monsters to Liang Jia and Shu Wei to deal with. There is no longer the threat of 211 monsters. The pressure on Liang Jia was greatly reduced. The remaining dozens of monsters are all below level 10, so there is nothing to worry about. With the joint efforts of her and Shu Wei, strangulation, all the remaining monsters were eliminated in just half an hour. On the roof, Shu Wei put away his bow and arrow, glanced at the attribute panel, and said to Lin Fei happily, "Brother Fei, I have been promoted to level 8. Lin Fei smiled as encouragement, and then said, "Let's go down." The two jumped from the roof to the ground one after another. Liang Jia also came over and thanked the two of them. "Thank you for arriving in time, otherwise I don't know how long I would have to fight them." Shu Wei said in confusion, "I don't think you can deal with it very easily?" Liang Jia gave a bitter smile and shook her head. "It's not easy at all. They're too high level. They can only deal with it forcefully, but there is no way to kill them completely. Especially those two level 11 monsters. I ran into them as soon as I entered the secret realm. I was in a stalemate with them for several hours, but I couldn't find a chance to kill them. If Lin Fei hadn't taken action, it would have been difficult for me to deal with them." After Shu Wei heard this, his eyes widened. "You were also surrounded by monsters as soon as you entered the secret realm?" Liang Jia nodded and heard Shu Wei continue. "Then why don't you run away? Just get rid of them, why bother with them?" Liang Jia rolled her eyes at him and said, "Escape? Where to escape? There are monsters everywhere here. If I run around, I won't attract more monsters. As long as you are not stupid, you will solve them right where you are. Even if you can't solve them, you can attract fewer monsters and persist longer, just like me now." Forehead, Shu Wei was speechless. "And I think what the eldest sister said seems to make sense. Wasn't it because he was running around that he attracted hundreds of monsters and was trapped on the water tower? If Brother Fei hadn't arrived in time, he would have been dead." Liang Jia saw Shu Hui's expression was different and asked, "What's wrong with you?" "No. It's nothing." Shu Wei smiled awkwardly. He couldn't tell her that he was the big fool running around. He quickly changed the topic. "Sister, you are tired after fighting for several hours. Please rest quickly. I will help you collect the trophies." Without waiting for a reply, Liang Jia ran around in a hurry. Liang Jia was indeed tired, so she took out a bottle of mana recovery potion, drank it, and began to sit cross-legged to rest again. After fighting for several hours, the physical strength was very exhausted. If he hadn't been promoted to level 8 during this period, he might not have been able to survive until now. Therefore, Lin Fei and Shu Wei arrived in time, which was of great help to her. Especially Lin Fei's killing of the two level 11 monsters finally freed her from the constraints and freed her hands to deal with other monsters. After resting for an hour, Liang Jia recovered a lot. He opened his eyes and stood up, looked at Lin Fei and asked, "What should we do next?" Lin Fei looked to the north and said, "Shu Wei discovered that monsters were gathering towards the center of the city. Where there are more monsters, that's where we should go." Liang Jia nodded. With Lin Fei here, he naturally has to go to a place with many monsters, so that he can gain more experience and level up faster. He opened the mission panel again, glanced at it a few times, and said thoughtfully, "Monsters are gathering towards the city, which means there is a battle breaking out there. None of the three of us have killed monsters yet, but on the mission panel, the number of monsters killed is still increasing, which proves this." Lin Fei nodded and said, "I guess Chen Zihan and the others are fighting monsters over there. I don't know what the situation is." Fatty Shu patted his butt and stood up, interjecting, "I guess the situation won't be good. The monsters that come to Sister's Head are scattered in small numbers, but the monsters that rush to the center of the city are in batches. There are at least 700 to 800 monsters gathered there, and the battle may be fierce." Lin Fei nodded, guessing that Chen Zihan and the others might be in a bad situation, and said in a deep voice, "Then let's go over and help. I will deal with the monsters above level 10, and I will leave the rest to you." Liang Jia nodded. With Lin Fei here, high-level monsters can be dealt with, so there is no need to worry about safety issues. Fatty Shu had no objection and was very excited. He knew that the opportunity to upgrade quickly had come and he must not miss it. So, the three of them set off and quickly rushed towards the center of the city.